Hey guys, what's up? I am here with episode 3 of Let's Talk Comics. This week's guest, I'm sure you guys already all know her, JoJo from Flix and Comix.
Hey
Just in case
guys.
there just in case there are new viewers or people that check it out that don't know, JoJo's link is the first one in the description, so go over there and check her channel out. I guarantee you're going to love it. What's up,
Yeah.
JoJo?
Hey, it's good to be here. It's funny because right now we were just kind of reminiscing already, but
Yeah.
you and I go back. We go back a while back, like what,
Oh yeah.
2016 or 15? I don't remember. I think
It's
2015,
been a it's
2016.
been a while.
I think 2016 was when I started. I created my YouTube channel 2015, but I didn't have the guts to start
Yeah.
it until much later. I was
Yeah.
watching people like Lord of the Long Box and back then, who else was big? Did the Doom? Remember the Doom? People like that. And then finally I was like, I want to start my own channel. And then you and I met very
Yeah.
shortly after I started my channel.
I know I had my channel probably since 2009, but I didn't start putting content on it until maybe 2017, I think was my first video. So it
Right,
was
right.
years before I was like brave enough to get in front of the camera.
Right? It does take a little bit, and I think we're similar in the way that, well, at least I know I get social anxiety, and
Oh
back
yeah.
then it was pretty. I wouldn't say it was severe, but I had just moved to Vegas and I didn't have any friends out there. So I was like, this is awesome because I get to talk to people that are into what I'm into too, which is already hard enough to find people like that in real
Yeah.
life or whatever.
Yeah.
So when I found the comic book community, it was such an eye opener that oh my god, there's people like me out there that I could actually hang out with and talk to and stuff. So I was commenting a lot at first and just watching videos and then I would get bored. I was like, I need a hobby too besides
Yeah.
collecting. So yeah, and then I kind of just was like, it's just going to be me in this room. It's not like anyone else is here. So I don't know where this anxiety is coming from. Right. So then I kind of
Oh
just
yeah.
got over it and I started getting used to it, the videos and,
Yeah.
um,
I was the same with like, especially live streams. I used to be terrified to do
oh
live
yeah.
streams.
Oh my
People would invite me on, and I would just make excuses to not not have to do it.
God. Right.
Yeah,
I
for the
was the
first,
same
gosh,
way.
for the first 2.5, maybe 3 years, I was doing regular videos and just terrified to do live streams.
Yeah, I feel like these days I feel a lot better about it, but there was a whole stretch there. You could even go back and I say it very blatantly in the beginning, I get nervous. I used to get nervous every time. Every time I'd hit the live button, it was just like, oh my God, here
Yeah,
we go. Here we go. And I'd have to really fight through it. And it's it doesn't really come across, which is crazy because it's at a certain point in your adulthood or whatever, you kind of have to learn to get over it and just kind of push
yeah,
yourself to do things, or else you're never going to have opportunities, even just like this. We would have never really talked to each other if
I
we had
know.
let
Yeah,
our
it's like
anxiety get to
there's
each other.
so many people that I never would have like met otherwise without YouTube,
Right.
like all over the world. Like Simon from
Yeah,
Australia, him
Simon,
him
who
and
else?
I do a show
Black.
together, and
Yeah,
it's
I love
like
that show. So,
those are
yeah,
people just you never would have met without YouTube.
absolutely not. And so, yeah, you miss out if you don't kind of step up. And finally, I was like, all right, I'm getting a good handle on this. Maybe I'll just try the lives.
Yeah,
And that's how I kind of started with that. And I still don't really, I always prefer editing because I think it's fun, but lately
yeah,
it's been a
I'm the
time suck
same.
to do that, right?
Yeah. I'm the same. Like I love editing videos and stuff.
Me too. It's just yeah, it's the best. It's I love just like the storytelling in general is it's different because when you're on live, it's kind of you shoot from the hip kind of thing, and you
Yeah.
never know how it might go, right? It's just
Yeah.
always different.
Yeah. I've never been one to like actually have a structure or a layout. I've always just kind of winged it.
Yeah, I think that's what I like to see too from the lives. Like that's what happens to me where I just kind of go wherever I want and it just ends up
Yeah.
in a place that I never thought it would. But I kind of like watching that from other people's channels too cuz it just feels a lot more natural, you
Yeah.
know.
Just relaxed and laid back and fun.
Yeah, that's what I go for a lot of the times. But
It's
yeah, I mean nothing wrong with the structured stuff either.
yeah. Yeah. I've tried that. I've tried like trying scripts and stuff for videos, and it just did not work out.
Yeah. I mean, for my when I was doing reviews, those I would have like little bullet points, but because I would forget. So like
Yeah.
I would start off and la, 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 and then like I would just go off on tangents and then I would use the bullet points to like reel myself in. So that's the only like structure I've ever really had on the channel, but yeah, my lives go all over the place. And as long as I stick to like the main overarching topic, I'm good. And that's always just what I kept it as because it's
Yeah.
also fun that way too. Because it's like,
Oh yeah.
all right, and then
That's a good idea though to have like just the bullet points so you can like touch up because there's been so many times where I've done edited videos and I meant to say something or make a point about something and just completely forgot and not realize until I'm putting the video together.
right? Oh, I hate that though. It's like that's happened to me too, even with the bullet points, where yeah, after the edit, I'm about to post it and I watch it one more time, make sure there's no like I don't know, errors or whatever.
Yeah,
And I'll just think of something and I'm just like, oh, I should have said that. Why did I? And it's just so annoying. I post it anyways. I don't like reshoot the whole
yeah,
thing, but it's like, and that's kind of where the lives actually are better, right? Because it's like you can maybe talk about it earlier in the live and then like maybe later in the live you remember what that point was and then you'd be like,
yeah.
by the way, going back to
Circle back
that,
around. Yeah,
exactly. So there's pros and cons to both, I think. But I used to just really hate the lives like you. Like exactly like you. I just hated it. And I was like, I don't want to go on anybody's channel. I don't want to do not that I like disliked anybody. You know me, I just love everyone. But it's
yeah,
like the anxiety and that
yeah.
like, oh
I know.
boy, I
Yeah.
can't go on.
I don't know if you remember the show Grader's Notes with Genome
Oh
and
yeah,
Metarog and Mr. Miracle.
yeah.
Yeah. When
Uh-huh.
he first created that show, he invited me to be one of the panelists, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh God, I can't do this," because they would
Exactly.
go into so much detail, and I would just be like, it, "This cover's a 5 because it's shiny." Just
Exactly.
like I
Well, it's
couldn't do it.
also hard though, like on the fly to do analysis, I think. So
Yeah,
they're very talented at doing that. But like that's another thing where it's like the pre-recorded, I have time to collect my thoughts and to develop some kind of um argument to where whether it's good or not, right? But like when I'm just asked on the fly, I'm like sitting there sometimes like, hold on a minute, give me a second live. It's like dead air of me just thinking about things. Cause it's like, I just, I always need that time. And yeah, lives are wild though. And another thing was back then, I wasn't trying to get on lives a lot because I like you as well. I've never really kept up with current stuff, period.
yeah,
Like I've always been stuck in the past for better or for worse. And it's just my go-to. And I like binging things. I like reading things all the way through. And it's like, the new stuff, it's that week to week kind of like, okay, now we got to wait for the next week
Yeah.
until we can actually do a real analysis of this before we criticize, because it's always weird, like, to me, to just kind of cover one issue of one story where I
Oh, yeah.
think of
Instead of
it.
doing like a whole arc at one time.
Yeah. So that's always a thing too. And so I would get invited to some shows where it was like, yeah, come on the show and we'll cover whatever story you're reading this week. And I'm like, listen, I'm reading Batman, like Shadow of the Bat from the 90s.
Yeah.
Is that cool if
Yeah.
I like cover that on your, and sometimes they'd be like, oh yeah, sure, like, we'll do a little retro review on the show just for you. And like, I would feel a little bad, but it's like, that's all I'm reading, like, you know
Oh, yeah.
but
It's like if it's not 1999 or older, I probably haven't read it.
yeah, I feel like we're very alike in our collecting and what we gravitate to, because you're very like 90s Superman, right? And then I'm
Yeah.
like 90s Batman. And I used to dabble in the Superman stuff too, but it was always mostly Batman. Like, that's where I started with
Yeah.
Nightfall.
Oh,
Um,
that's such a great. I have that whole storyline up on this back wall over here.
it's the
The Nightfall
best.
story.
Yeah, and that's what pulled me in. And at the time, I was a kid. I was like, I don't know, must have been like 8 or 9 when I started reading those, and they were from the back issue bins, so they were
Yeah.
already like old. I'm not quite sure how old, a few years probably, but
Yeah. I want to
I was just
say
picking them.
it wasn't long after the Death of Superman arc that Nightfall came out. I think it was 93, I want to say, when that first story first came out.
Okay, so I was probably reading them around a year or two later, maybe, yeah, something like that. And so I was just picking random issues out, and I had never read it all the way through. I was just reading the ones that I had chosen as a kid, like over and
Yeah.
over throughout my childhood. And it didn't really occur to me that like it was a full story arc. I was just like, oh, I really like that. I really like this villain, because in that story, it's like, the whole like rogues gallery,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know,
Everybody
I,
from the
everyone
Arkham
shows
like
up.
got broke out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I freaking loved it. And then, but I like never knew the conclusion or anything like that. So as an adult, I want to say 2011, I finally just bought the trades and then
Oh,
just
yeah.
read all of them through. And I was like, oh my God, this is so nostalgic for me. And it was a
I've got
beautiful.
the single issues of Nightfall, but I've got the Night's End in trade.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a gorgeous cover right there, though.
Yeah. That Azrael Batman suit, still one of my favorite designs.
Right. Oh man. And then they had that red one, but then also like the blue and gold.
Yep.
That one was
Such
so
a cool suit.
badass. You remember that cover? I think it was Batman 500, where it was that die cut where it opens
Yeah.
up and then you see the both
It's like Batman on the outside and
costumes.
Azrael on the inside. Yeah.
Yes.
That one's it's right on the wall over here.
That's one of my faves. Ugh.
I
So,
love
so
those
good.
covers.
How about you with Superman? Like, what was your favorite? Was it the whole Death of
Um,
Superman stuff that you
but
got?
it's funny
When
because
did you get sucked in?
the first issue I got was like the second or third issue of the Reign of Superman. So
Mhm.
I like originally missed the whole death. I didn't even know it happened until I picked up that
Mhm.
first Reign of Superman issue. It's Action
See,
688.
that's how it would
And I
happen,
was
right?
like,
As a kid,
Superman
you just
died?
like
What the
exactly,
crap?
right,
So I just
exactly.
immediately got hooked and I had to go back and like get all the Death of Superman issues too. And
Yeah, it's like
it snowballed from there.
exactly. I felt that way too, where it's like, oh man, you read one and you're just like, oh my gosh, there's so much here. Like, I want
Yeah.
more.
Like
And
the whole first year was just Superman. And then I got into Batman with the Nightfall, and then from there just went into
Oh
Marvel
wow.
with X-Men and Spider-Man, and just
Isn't
never
it
stopped.
funny too that like I always got offended because I feel like some of the maybe old school collectors or something, they would always bag on like 90s comics, you know?
Yeah,
And
and it's like
that was always my jam. I'm
my
like, "What?
favorite era.
Yeah, what are you talking about?" But yeah, now I feel like it's more accepted. I guess because most of us are getting older too, and like
Yeah,
that's where, a lot of us
it's
started
like I
collecting.
think everybody's favorite era though is the era they grew up
They
collecting
grew
in.
up with. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, like, those are some good stories, like, legitimately, you know? So,
Oh yeah.
yeah. And then my sister, while I was collecting Batman, she was collecting Spider-Man, and she's 2 years
Uh,
older than me. So we always had that whole, like, you know, DC versus Marvel, like, bickering thing, which was always fun. It was harmless, but it was just
yeah.
hilarious because yeah,
Bust
we
out the
set the
steel
show.
chairs.
Oh, yeah, like, even just the shows, like the Spider-Man show versus, like, the
Yeah.
animated.
It's funny because the cartoons are actually what got me into the Marvel comics when like I was just all like Superman and DC and Flash, and
It
then I started watching
definitely.
like the Spider-Man series, the X-Men series, and got into
Yeah,
their comics from that.
for sure. That's kinda what happened. Well, so when I discovered the Batman comics, um, I had already been introduced to Batman from, like, the movies, the Tim Burton movies, and then the
Oh
show
yeah.
as well. So that's another reason I got sucked into it because it was like it just opened a whole new world of Batman for me where I didn't know existed, you know?
Yeah. I was
So
9, I think, when the Batman movie came out with Keaton and Nicholson,
okay.
and that just yeah, I love that.
Oh my
At
god,
the
the
time, I didn't
characters.
even know about the Adam West series. I didn't see that until like
Same.
years after. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to so what I did discover it probably when I was a little bit older, maybe like 10-ish, and then 10 or 11, and then I started going back and watching all of them. But I didn't know it had existed when I
Yeah.
was
Had no idea.
reading. Yeah, but yeah, it was a good time, the 90s.
Oh yeah.
And then all those trading cards are coming out
Oh yeah.
too.
I had
A
a
whole
ton of
nother
those
aspect.
still.
Yeah, so
Let me
but
let me
yeah,
say a quick hello to the chat that popped in here. We
yes.
have Kavi from Pages, Panels, and Pixels, Alex Big Blue, Fanboy Prime, Jeremy from the STS guys. See, Glitter and Duct Tape popped in. Troy's reviews, and I think that's about it. I think I'm caught up. Appreciate you guys hanging out tonight. And if anybody in the chat has any comic related questions, feel free to drop them, and we'll try to answer them.
Awesome. Yeah, good to see everybody in the chat.
Kenneth Bird, what's going on, man? So Batman was like your first big like character that got you into comics to start with?
Definitely. I also remember picking up some you remember The Tick?
Yeah, I used to love that show.
Me too. I picked up a couple of those when I was a kid, and I still actually have my, like, little collection of comics, to this day, but, yeah, a lot of it was just around that Nightfall era, and then some of it remember those old, Breyfogle covers for Batman around the '90s, early '90s? Um Where there's, like, an imposter Joker during the storyline where
Oh yeah,
you're the yeah, where he has those guns and he's
yeah,
Yeah, it was around that time, and I just but again, though, they were, like, back issues, so I don't yeah, I'd have to go and look at the dates of those, but it was probably shortly, like, a year after that I started picking them up. Oh, and then the Robin was like big too. Remember he had his own comics with the
Yeah, the Tim Drake series.
yes.
Those were some of my favorites. That was like the first Robin that I got to know.
Me too. Well,
And
Grayson
then I
from
found out
the
about Dick Grayson. But by the time I got into the comics, Grayson was already Nightwing.
yes, yes. Right, because in Nightfall he's always like trying to help Bruce and like is so confused as to what's going on.
Yeah,
And then he figures it out or whatever later on. But that was yeah, that was Grayson in that one, right? No, it was Tim Drake in that.
it was Tim. Because
Yeah.
they hadn't brought back Jason Todd yet. He didn't come back until I want
Until
to say, was it like 2001 or something?
right.
It was early 2000s when he came back in as Red Hood, I believe.
I knew him from the show then. Yeah. Grayson from the show, the animated series.
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
the animated series was so good.
It really was. It really was. Ugh, even just like the music too. They got it
Yeah,
right with that one.
that was like perfect as far as like what they could do at the time. I think it still
Hmm.
holds up to this day.
Yeah, and like Mark Hamill too as Joker. Like great stuff. Great stuff. Um, didn't they say they were gonna bring it back or something?
I heard rumors, but I haven't heard like anything since.
I'm wondering if COVID had something to do with that and they just stopped. But I thought I heard something like that a while ago.
It would be nice to see. I would like to see some of that come back.
Yeah, that would be great. And then the movies. Did you ever watch the what was it? Phantasm?
The Mask of the Phantasm,
Mask of the
yeah,
Phantasm. Yeah,
that was great. And
that was good.
the
Yeah.
one with Mr. Free, I can't remember the name of it. Was it Sub Zero or something?
Sub-Zero.
The one to
Oh,
Mr.
I love
Yeah,
that
with
one.
Mr.
Yeah.
Freeze.
So good. I had a weird fascination, not weird, but like it's weird because I mean, I had some Batman action figures, but for some reason, I just always gravitated to Mr. Freeze action figures. So I
Yeah,
had a little like collection of just all the various Mr. Freezes.
the
Like this
animated
is
series made him such a good character.
right.
Yeah,
They need to do.
I remember like thinking like back in the day after I saw that movie, I was thought like how Patrick Stewart would have made a really great Mr. Freeze.
Dude,
And
that
then
guy's
when they finally put him
amazing.
in a movie, they cast Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I think they
It's
should.
like
I know
so
they should
crazy.
really bring him back, like in some way, and make him cool. Like for real, not
Yeah,
cool, like, but
yeah.
you know.
All the bad puns and stuff.
Oh my god. Although you know what, I'm not gonna lie, it's my guilty pleasure. It really is.
Oh,
Like
really?
as terrible as it is, I can watch that. I can definitely watch it. It's
It's
just
definitely like
hilarious.
a cheesy
Oh
popcorn
yeah.
flick.
Over the top cheese, like I'm all about it. But I think back then I do remember going to watch that. I think I was in like 6th grade and I remember walking out of the theater and I was like I remember thinking like that was terrible. Like even as a kid I was like mm-mm, that was not it. And then but what got me with that one was I was picking up the action figures. I was picking
Oh
up all
yeah.
the action figures. So it's like that's kind of where you know, like I remember it fondly because of that. But
I don't know if you remember like the glass cups that they had at McDonald's for the
yeah,
Batman. Yeah, I've still got some of those.
nice. I also remember when they did that for Star Wars.
Yeah.
They like they had like cups with the big heads on them, the big figures up on top. That was interesting. That's another thing they don't really do these days, like for promotion. like movie
Yeah, you
promotion.
never see stuff like that anymore.
No, it's something I also miss from the 90s. There's some good
We've got
toys being given back then.
oh yeah, so many. I remember like
Yeah.
the Batman and Superman ones from the movies. They were awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. What do you think is the most underrated title or character in comics? The most
Mm.
underrated. Okay, since I'm a Batman girl, I've always said this. I think Victor Zsasz is one of the scariest mother effers
Oh yeah,
ever. And
most
like I
definitely.
feel like he would go very well into the new like Matt Reeves Batman world,
Yeah.
like universe. That would be awesome to see. I would love to see that. But for whatever reason, well, I guess we know why. But they stick to like the same villains over and over.
Yeah.
So they
There's
like
so many they can definitely do in the movies, like Zaz, that
right.
they can
But
do like so much justice to.
they end up just going back to the well because it's popular. Like that's what everyone knows. So
Yeah. Kavi asks, "Do you have a favorite one shot or miniseries?"
a favorite one shot or miniseries. Let's see. One of the ones I really enjoyed, I think I read it in 2019 or 2018? Supergirl being super. I had never read Supergirl comics before that, and I remember reading it thinking like, "Man, this would have been so awesome if I had read this when I was a kid," you know? And like, I don't know, it was very well written and it was just it had like a current vibe to it and like she was coming of age in that. So it was just different for me because I'm used to like the dark Batman stories that are like
Yeah.
noir and brutal and stuff. And so that was different where it was like lighter. It was just, different change of pace kind of thing. And I liked it because of that.
Let's see. Sean asked, "Do you have a favorite, I guess, guilty pleasure character?"
Um, a favorite guilty pleasure. I usually don't ever feel guilty for my pleasures, but
Yeah.
let me think here. Let me think here. A lot of the horror stuff, I think some people will like be like, "Oh, why do you like that?" But I don't. Again, I don't feel guilty about it. I think once you're like in this community and collecting, and you start to realize like there's a fan for everything. So I don't think like that anymore. Where it's like I don't make anyone. I try not to make anyone feel bad for whatever they like, but yeah, I can't think of one off the top of my head. If I think about more, I'll get back to you.
I think another like underrated character I think is Plastic Man.
Oh yeah,
You
Plastic Man's a
don't
good
really
one.
see him in anything.
Right,
He's
right.
he's just a fun character I think would fit into the
Uh-huh. Oh,
movies.
one that I like too is The Question. I feel like The Question doesn't get enough love.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. But again, not really guilty, but underrated.
Zaz would definitely
Uh,
fit in the Matt Reeves movies, I feel like.
right, like a wicked version, not like the
Yeah.
one like Kavi is saying where he was in Birds of Prey, but it was like they made him
I
goofy in that.
Oh, really? I never did
Yeah.
see that movie. I saw they
I
did
actually thought it
a
was
version
okay.
of Zaz in the Gotham TV series that was pretty cool.
Oh, did they? I didn't know
Yeah.
that. Ooh,
It's I
I'll check
can't
it out.
remember which season it was. Can't remember if it was season 2 or 3 when he came in, but he like sporadically guest starred throughout that year, and
Was it
they did a pretty
more
good
true to
job.
the comics? Yeah.
I don't think he had the scars like in the comics,
Yeah. See,
but
that's where I'm
they
like,
definitely
Matt
played him like a
Reeves would do it.
psychopath. Yeah,
Okay. Well, at least they did that. I get it though, because it was TV. That's a regular cable
Yeah.
TV.
See, Jeremy asks, do you have a favorite artist and writer?
Oh, that's a tough question. We'll be here all day. Remember what I was telling you? We're just gonna be thinking about it while there's dead air.
Yeah.
Okay. So just gonna go with whatever comes to me first. Artist, artist. Lately, I'm really digging Francesco Francavilla, who's an excellent horror artist. That's like my favorite right now, but things change. I go through phases, but right now that's who I'm definitely picking up most of. For story, oof. um,
So many great
I
ones to choose from.
I like Rucka. Um, there's a lot, dude. I like. Mm, Snyder, obviously, but I feel like those are givens. I don't know.
Yeah.
But for me, um, those are the ones that come to me. But yeah, I'm I appreciate most things that I'll tell you this is more interesting, I think. One that I don't like that is more talked about as one of the greats. And I shouldn't say I don't like it. It's just not my cup of tea. People like it for a reason, and I understand that. But most of Miller's stuff I really don't like.
Really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I like
think I
your
remember you did a review one time on the Dark Knight books.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I did like your one, but I don't know. I don't know.
He definitely
Teach
has a
them.
unique style. It's not for everybody.
Definitely. Definitely. But most people seem to love it. So
It's been so long since I actually read that book. I don't remember much about it anymore.
yeah, I have enjoyed Tinian more currently. Tinian.
Yeah,
He's
I've
like,
heard he was good.
yeah, right up my alley when it comes to the darker like mystery stuff, horror elements in a lot of his writing, which I really enjoy. Um, but yeah, yeah, that was tough. I can't believe I did it. You guys, are you proud of me?
I was reading newer Batman for a little bit after Detective Comics 1000 came out. I went on a little run with that, and I picked up issues like 1000 all the way up to like I think I went to 1015,
Mm.
and that was I can't remember who wrote those
But
issues,
did you
but
enjoy it?
Detective had a good run. Yeah,
Okay, cool. Yeah, I I've dabbled here and there with new stuff, but not it's mostly like older stuff that I
yeah, it
jive with.
was probably 3 years ago now.
Right? It's crazy.
Yeah, I
Things go
like
by so
yeah,
fast.
yeah. It's been at least 2 years since I bought any new comics, I think.
And why is that for you, Russ?
Well, I decided because there were certain books I wanted to get, and as long as I kept a pull list getting new books, there was no way I was going to be able to do both. So it was like a budget thing. I decided
Mhm.
I wanted the older books more,
Mhm.
so I just cut out every like because I was only doing maybe 4 series. I was doing Detective Comics. I was doing the I believe it was Donny Cates Thor run. I was
Oh yeah.
doing those, and some Immortal Hulk. I was getting those. And after a while, it's just like I stopped reading them, and I was just
Mhm.
found myself buying them for the cover art because Alex Ross was doing some covers on the Immortal Hulk, and I
Oh,
just
yeah.
decided it's just a waste of money if I'm not going to read them. I could be saving this for the older books and stuff.
Yeah, I think that if you're gonna do cover buys, you shouldn't, which I think is perfectly okay, but you shouldn't do it at full price, right? Because it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, like you're saying, like you're gonna want if you're gonna get
Yeah.
them immediately, it's for the
Oh, yeah,
just
and
because
that
you
can
want to
get,
read the
like,
story.
overwhelming so
Yeah.
quickly because
So
it seemed like every other
what's the
month they
rush?
were doing new number 1 issues with and they every one of them had, like, tons of variant covers, and
Mhm.
I would end up liking more than one cover, and it was just so much
Yeah.
money pumping into
They know what
those.
they're doing with all those variants.
Oh, yeah.
They know exactly what they're doing to us
I wish they would just
collectors.
go back to, like, legacy numbering with the books and quit
Oh,
doing
that would be
constant reboots
amazing.
with number 1 issues.
I would love that too. And that's part of the reason why, because I had a pool for a little while, just to see like if I could keep up with it back in Vegas. Because like I've always known myself, and I know like I just know it, I knew it was going to be too much. And yeah, sure enough, I was just
Yeah,
like, this is not only like a ton of money, but it's also addicting because like, yeah, you start looking at other variants that you're just like, oh, but that one looks cool, but
yeah,
this one looks cool. And it spirals. And I'm like, I feel like the way I was collecting is a little more healthier for my style because it's like I can go and just track down whatever books I want. And it's like a scavenger hunt for me, where it's like, oh, okay, got it. Yes, scratch that one off the list. And there's that. I mean, filling runs has always been fun for me. So I'm
yeah,
never
I like
pressured to
doing that.
get things immediately.
Yeah. It was crazy, like and, like, I'm in a small town, and I got, like, 2 comic shops, and one of them would, never get books unless you had it on the pull list, and the other one would get the books and all the variants, but he would immediately upcharge every single variant, and, if a book had speculation to it, even if it was on your pull list, he magically didn't get that book, but
Oh,
then a few
hell.
days later, you would see it up on the wall for, like, crazy prices. So it was
That's
impossible
terrible.
to keep up with runs of comics. If you were actually enjoying the storyline, you would always miss one or two because it was speculation.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess that's where I think people justify, like, the whole weekly pull thing because it's like, well, I wanna
Yeah,
get that particular book at a cheaper price before they put it on the wall, but as you said, these days, like, they'll freaking take it from your
yeah,
pool.
yeah. There's
And
some shady
yeah,
comic shop owners out there.
yeah,
I know.
and,
Yeah, Thor was on my pull list. That was one of the books on my pull list,
uh
and it was either issue 5 or 6. I can't remember which had spec to it, and that one just magically never appeared. So I ended up having to get just a second print of that because it was something I was reading and enjoying at the time.
And see, that's where they screw over the readers,
Yeah,
because it's like, I just want to read it. And that's why I kind of right now, unfortunately, I'm going digital because mostly because of space in this
oh
place.
yeah,
And like I said, it's expensive to be like constantly buying new books. I don't know how people do it. Like, where do y'all
yeah,
store all this stuff week to week? And they like buy these huge pools. Like, I don't know, man, but
yeah. Like
um
I've got 15 or 16 short boxes now, I think,
yeah,
and
like
it's just
even
all like older stuff.
yeah, and same here, but it's in my storage. Like sadly, it's in Vegas still, but yeah, I have boxes out there, but it's like we're doing it at a much slower pace. So can you
Yeah.
imagine the week to week to week like woof. That's a lot of storage space and a lot of money. But
What's up, Unruly?
hey, what's going on people?
But yeah,
But uh,
it's
it's
crazy.
tough
The
to keep
space has
up.
always been an issue too. Like I've just
Mhm.
got this one little room here, and it's packed with like just so much nerdiness.
Yeah. My old room used to be like that, but yeah, here I have to it's like I have one main living area, right? So it's like my living room's right here, and then further down that way is my kitchen. So this is literally like the only
Yeah.
spot, and then my bedroom. But like I haven't even started with my bedroom. I'll make that nerdy too, but like it's this little corner here, and I'm like, all right, this is all I got right now.
Yeah.
This is all I got. And then I do have some my little comic bins over here, but
That
it's
spinner
just like,
rack is awesome.
I know, I love it. I love her so much. She's cool. But I had to bring her. I had to. And she helped out back in the day with Comigories a lot.
Oh yeah, that show was so much fun.
It really was.
Yeah,
It really
that was
was.
another one that had my nerves tore up when
Oh my
the
god.
times that I was on. Like the
Dude,
first time I was completely unprepared. I didn't have any books around me. I thought I'd have time to get up and come over and like look through them.
oh my
And
god,
no.
dude.
Then the second
Dude.
time I was on, I just surrounded myself with short boxes.
Yeah, so that show, it was funny because like the lead up for me was like nervy. It was just a lot of like anxiety because it was like, all right, I got to make sure like I have all these like relevant books, whatever the category is, that I'm covered, right? So I would have you'd have to like imagine what categories there were, and then you had to have like good representation for each. And then yeah, like it wasn't that wouldn't go away, but like right when the show started was when I would have fun. I just kind of let everything go and be like, oh, this is cool. But like the lead up was like, oh shoot, I gotta be ready. Gotta be prepared.
Not knowing what the categories are ahead of time.
That's rough. It was rough.
Yeah.
It was so fun though. Good times. So what's
That's
the
a show I
newest
wish they would
thing?
bring back.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, what's the newest thing? I feel like since I took like a two-year hiatus, I feel behind with the community. I don't know like what the go-to like fun thing to do is, the community activity. Like
So many new people have popped up since like
right?
Brian LCS. He does weekly
Oh,
live
yeah.
streams.
I've seen him around.
Um,
Yeah.
Fanboy Prime, he's another Superman collector like me, and
Oh
he
yeah, I
does a
know
weekly
Family
live
Prime.
stream. There's so
Cool.
many. Treb the comic guru, or Treb the shipping guru.
Right.
Shop for Comics, yeah. So many great like comic channels out there that have popped up.
Yeah, I have to try like visiting everybody, all the new people, because
Yeah,
it's like,
it's definitely hard to keep up with like everything.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm
And
pretty sure I subscribe to over 1,000 channels, and it's just like there's no way you can keep up.
you know what's funny? That's so funny that you just said that, because I didn't even, there's like a page where you can see that your own like information on YouTube or whatever.
Yeah,
And it's like a little tab or something. And I never go there, but for whatever reason, I ended up there, and I was like, oh, I'm sub to 800 people. Like, what the heck? I didn't even realize. I didn't realize. And then, but yeah,
it's just like
it's
there's just not enough time.
mm-mm, mm-mm.
Like I try to
And
keep up with as many as possible.
used to do a better job of it, that's for sure. But lately, I'm just trying to like settle here first, and then
Yeah,
once I get a good groove of like my whole schedule and stuff, like then I can start, watching things, and kind of developing more friendships, because that's always been the best part of it, right? It's like
yeah.
like
The community is constantly growing. It seems like.
I know it's tough. It is tough, but it has grown so much more significantly than back in the day. You remember, like everyone
Yeah,
used to know everybody, I think. And it was like whenever someone would upload a video, we would all just flock there and just
yeah,
like watch. It was like, I don't know, for me it was always exciting, and like just to see everyone's stuff.
yeah.
And
Everybody was just like always in the chats too.
right, and that's what I'm saying, is like, it was
Yeah,
always
it's like
popping, like, everyone was saying hi to everybody, and Yeah, lately I'm just like trying to see where that is, and I'm like, okay. And it seems like more like little pockets now of a
Yeah,
few different little groups, which is great because that, that's just growth too. But yeah, it's a lot of different people now. It's great though to see that. To
yeah, it
see,
is.
yeah.
It's like, and a lot of different like aspects of collecting is kind of like merging. Like you see Funko channels watching comic book content now, and card collectors watching everybody's content and stuff. So
I've always been a
it's like
fan of
all
that.
coming together. It seems like.
I'm definitely down for more of that because
Yeah,
I think we're similar in that way too, where we've always liked not just one aspect of the geeky stuff,
yeah,
right? We've
yeah.
we've
I
kind of
enjoy
liked a lot of
having a
different things.
variety. Yeah,
Yeah, like you do video game stuff too,
yeah.
and then we
Like I
both used
got
to.
a lot of figures and stuff too that I've
Yeah, you got your
probably
little
can't see them
statues.
all, but yeah, different
Exactly.
figures and stuff. And it's just, I love
That's
just being able to do that variety on the channel and not just be stuck covering one thing.
And that's what has always, like, pulled me to your channel too, and same with, like, Simon too, he does that too, where it's like, I
Yeah,
just like that variety. I like it's not always one thing all every week,
yeah,
like, again, I just like the cool, like, hangout, doesn't have to be structured, but people like that too, so
yeah. Simon, he's gone big time into collecting figures recently.
I love it. That's so awesome. And, I think that's normal to go through those, like, random phases of like,
Yeah,
"Oh, last year I was really into NECAs, and then this year I'm, like, more into my horror comics," or, it's like it just bounces back and
oh
forth,
yeah.
and
It's like I know when I started, I was just all about Funko Pops and stuff,
yeah,
and
me
then
too.
I ended up giving probably almost 100 Funko Pops to my nephew because he started collecting.
Oh, that's
Yeah, when I
cool.
was I was getting like burnt out on that, and
Mhm.
it was actually Matt, the boy at 7, that introduced me to the comic book side of the community.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow. Oh,
and
Matt. I miss Matt.
through that I found Metarog, and then through Metarog's channel I found almost everybody else because he used to do those weekly like community giveaway streams
Oh,
where he would
yeah.
show everybody that was having giveaways, and I found so many people from the community through
Awesome.
him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how it happens? It's
Yeah.
like you step into one little pocket and it's like, "Oh, these people seem cool." And then it just kinda trickles on.
Yeah, it was
But
cra like, I don't it just felt second nature, the comic book community. When Matt first brought me in, it's just like, I met all these people, and it was almost like I knew them for years. They
I'm
just treated
trying to
me like
remember how
family,
I
like, right
found
away.
you. I'm trying to remember how I found you. I
Not
usually do
sure, I mean,
remember, but I don't remember. It because we were both doing pop stuff, so it had to be before the
yeah.
comic stuff.
Yeah, I know your channel was Pop.comics then.
Were you subscribed to OMG Chris back in the day?
I think so. Old Man Gamer Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah,
May he rest in peace. I loved him.
yeah.
He was so cool.
He is
Um,
great dude.
yeah. That could have
I
been where, because he was like one of my first subscribers.
Yeah. I think OMG Chris is who I met Matilda Gothica through.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
I think. Um, it could have been where it was. Because I
It's
met a lot
hard,
of
you know,
people through OMG Chris.
it's hard to remember because 'cause it's been so long.
I know. Gosh, the time flies though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've always enjoyed the variety on your channel, like even with the cooking videos, and like just you never know what you're gonna get. I freaking love it.
Yeah, I love just throwing out the random stuff. I
Yeah, it's
remember
fun
like
though.
some of the first videos I started watching of yours was when you were doing the BAM box,
Oh
and
yeah,
you would
the
do like
unboxing.
the whole year of BAM box in like one one
1 hour
video.
of just
Yeah.
like open
It's like
everything.
I've got 12 BAM boxes. Here we go.
That
Those were
was so
awesome though. I love those.
those were so fun, and then I could just do reviews, like, right off the bat,
Yeah.
so I was like, "Oh, yeah, earlier in the year, they did great, and now they suck." Like, it was just hilarious.
Those were a lot of fun. Just seeing the variety of stuff in those videos though, because they would do so much.
Yeah, you get so many random things, like signatures, and then, like, I always loved the horror props that they would stick in those
Yeah.
because they were always pretty creative with that. Um, but yeah, I remember doing like a whole year. I would like just literally, and then I'd always get comments like, "How did you like refrain from opening them all year? Like, what the heck?" And I'm like, you know what I do? Out of sight, out of mind. So I would like just stack
Oh
them in
yeah.
my garage, just leave them there, just leave them there. And then boom, one day it was Christmas, you know?
That takes levels of patience that I don't have. Like
I
when I get a
know.
package, I can't could tell I like
Yeah.
just open it and film it right then.
Yeah. And with that too, I would also do it because like a lot of people would do the unboxings like monthly, like normal human beings. And
Yeah.
I just would see them. I would see the videos pop up, but like I would just skip them, right? But yeah, like
Oh yeah,
that's
to
what
avoid
made
the
it
spoilers
easier.
and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So I just like not open any of those. And yeah, those are good times too. The
Yeah.
unboxings.
I remember
Yeah.
Comic Assassin used to do the bandbox too, I believe.
Comic Assassin. I don't know if I know Comic Assassin, do
Oh
I?
really? It's Drew. Is it?
True.
He
I know a Drew
he
Matthew.
very sparingly makes videos anymore.
Okay. Hmm. Doesn't ring a bell, but
It was a cool channel.
damn, sad I missed it. Yeah, it's interesting though. It's pretty rare to see channels like you where we've been around for a while, and it's like I feel like a lot of people they kind of stop maybe after like a year, like 2
Yeah,
years, 3 years, and then you just don't see them anymore. They just stop making
yeah.
videos.
There's
Like,
been a lot of channels I used to love that quit making videos like years ago.
yeah, I remember that. I remember, um, yeah, there were a lot of channels I used to really enjoy, and then they'll stop for whatever reason. Life gets in the way too.
Yeah,
Like even when I had my own hiatus, I was like, I'm coming back. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about
yeah.
it. This is just a setback. But I'm sure there were people that like thought, oh, she's never coming back again. But no, I've always loved the community too much to like ever leave it. There's just too many kindred spirits on here. It's like
Oh
I
yeah.
don't get that enough in real life. So yeah,
The community definitely it can become like a second family.
it for sure. And it has helped me in various ways. Like I said, like getting over social anxiety and
Yeah.
even just like public speaking. Like, I've always been one to like stutter a lot or whatever. So this helps me kind of just get out of that. And it's nice. It's nice.
Yeah, I know YouTube for me, it definitely opened up like, because I was just like so isolated. I didn't really have friends that were into collecting or anything. And I know I
Yeah.
like I got to go to Heroes Con last June and I got to meet a bunch of people from the community.
I
And that's
saw
something
that you
I feel
posted about
like, yeah,
that.
a couple years ago, I feel like that's something I never would have done, like go out and be around a crowd. And now it's just like it's meeting them in person. It was like amazing.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I used to get really nervous just walking into a comic shop.
Yeah.
And I think back then I just felt kind of intimidated because, you know, back then it was like there weren't a ton of girls into these hobbies like there are now. And
Yeah, or yeah,
um
they definitely didn't see many online anyway on YouTube.
yeah, even on YouTube too. I love to see it change now, but back then I used to get severe social anxiety going into a comic shop specifically. And because I would always get like the weird looks or whatever, or like
Yeah.
I would get disregarded in a lot of different ways. And it was just like, whatever, man. I would get so pissed. And then like there were times I'd go in with my ex and like he was not into geeky stuff or
Oh no.
comics at all, at all. And so he was cool with it, but he was not into it. And so we'd go in and like I would be in line, ask a question, and then they would look directly at him and be like, "Oh, may we help you?" It's like, hello. So yeah, that would happen. And so,
You should have
now
got a shirt that just said "I'm the collector."
I'm the collector, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea, Russ. I might have to steal that. Anyway, but nah, it's different these days. It's a lot different these
Yeah.
days, luckily. Um, but
Yeah. There's
yeah,
some great channels out there like Lady Fantastic.
yeah, I love Lady F. I love Lady F.
Yeah.
She's great.
I know she's a huge X-Men fan.
Yeah, I always love that she also likes kind of the hunt, the digging for the
Yeah.
deals and stuff. Um, that's always my jam too. And then like Nearing Nirvana is great too. I don't know if you know them, but they're
I don't know if I'm familiar with them.
a group of girls. They do like podcasts every so often. And they're great. They're great. They do
Huh.
more like they'll talk about spec, but they'll also talk about like the content and like just sharing their
On
thoughts
YouTube?
and stuff. Yeah, yeah. I'll send you a
Okay.
link
I'll have
later.
to look them up later. Okay.
Yeah, they're good. They're really good, and they're a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun. And now they're expanding their channel too because they have like other people in the community jumping on and stuff. So it's a
Cool.
nice little. You know how I was asking earlier, like what's the go-to spot? Like the community is like a lot of the communities there. For
Yeah.
me, like since I came back, that's mostly kind of where I've been hanging out, just because that's where I feel like I knew them from before. So I was like, okay, this is where I'll hang out for now because I don't know anyone else.
I'll definitely check them
Yeah,
out.
yeah. They're great. They're great. Um, what is Kabi saying?
Hang out with Geeks and Drinks and Black Swamp Comics at New York. Oh, at New York Comic Con. Awesome, man.
Sweet. Um, yeah, I'm trying to go to, well, I'm not trying. I already booked it, but I'm gonna go to Rose City Comic Con for the first time.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, later this month. So I'm really stoked for that.
Is that
Um,
in California?
it's up in Portland.
Okay,
So
cool.
yeah, I've never been there, so it's all gonna be new territory for me. So I don't know who's up there though in terms of like community. I think yeah, I
Not
don't know.
sure.
I don't think I know
I know,
anybody
like,
from up
it
there.
seems like almost everybody I meet from the community ends up being from Florida. There's so many.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah,
ton of people from Florida.
I know.
Um,
Back in 2020, I almost uh, got to go to MegaCon down there in Florida, but then the
oh,
whole
nice.
COVID thing happened, and that
Oh,
just kind of ended that. They canceled that for a couple years. That,
yeah, I would
that's
love to go there.
yeah, that's definitely one I would love to go visit.
Hmm. I also want to do the Chicago ones.
Yeah,
There's a
what
few.
is that? C2E2?
Yeah, C2E2, and
Yeah.
then there's a horror con or two that's up there that goes there. And then I want to do horror cons in Texas too. There's
Oh yeah.
Texas Frightmare. That one's always been on the bucket list. That's like one of the bigger ones. Um,
So far, the only one I've ever been to is the local one here in Charlotte.
Regular con or horror
Yeah,
con?
it's a Heroes Con. They have it every June
Oh,
in
here's
Charlotte,
con.
North Carolina. Yeah,
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah.
but
More recently, it's cons have been I've always loved going, but I've always stuck to kind of what was near me. So any of the ones in SoCal or any of the ones in Vegas, I would hit up. But now I'm kind of trying to go take a different approach where I'm just trying to go to different places that I've never been, right? And that's an excuse to just like
Yeah.
obviously I love the con life, but it's also an excuse to check out the city. So it's kind of cool. Oh, nice.
Oh, awesome, Glitter. I hope to see you there. I know I'm already planning on going back next year for sure.
Hell
But
yeah.
it's only geez, maybe 15 miles from my house.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's
That's
pretty
awesome.
close. Yeah.
So what did you think of your first experience there?
It was amazing. I got like met so many people from the community. Bub's Comics, met him for
Oh,
the
that's
first time
cool.
in person. Uh, Highly a comic bro. I got to meet Steve Whiting
Nice.
and just a
Nice.
bunch
Oh,
of
I
other
love
people from
that.
the community.
I
It
love
was so
that
much fun hanging out with
connectedness.
those guys.
Yeah,
And I
those
felt
are
like
good.
some awesome books down there. Like I picked up my first Treasury.
Nice. That's
This
a
I'd been
beauty.
after for so long,
That one's in good
and yeah,
condition.
I saw it down there, and it was actually Steve Whiting and Hialeah that introduced me to the vendor that was selling that book. So it
Cool.
was like it was like meant to be in my collection.
I love it when that happens.
But yeah, it's like immediately after it was over, I was like ready for next year's con to just get here already.
It's such a great I love going to cons, as well. Like, it's funny because I used to like going with friends, but now I just like meeting them there. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
know, like the community. Like I'd rather just go by myself and then like do whatever I want to do and then meet people and then have like explore the con with them. So like
yeah,
that's kind of been my thing lately. Um,
yeah.
which is really nice. But yeah, I'm trying to go to Rose City and then later in October there's a horror con I want to hit up too. But I think that's it for the rest of the year. I don't think I'm gonna try to do anything else.
Eventually,
There's
I
a
would love to get down to that MegaCon in Florida, and I would love to check out New York Comic Con one year. I've heard it
yeah,
was like
same.
almost impossible to get into San Diego Comic Con though.
This year
Like, 'cause I
in
heard you have
general.
to have like sign up for like a lottery or something to be able to
Oh,
get a chance to get a
yeah.
ticket. Yeah,
I've gone twice. It was 2018 and 2019, and it is hard. It is pretty hard.
yeah,
Um, it's a lottery system, like you're saying, and it's hit or miss. It's hit or miss. Like my friend and I had tried previous to that. We had tried for like 3 years straight and didn't get in. And then we finally got in. We were ecstatic, and I I really enjoyed myself, but I did have some like I don't know. There's a lot of things that they that I feel like they should improve upon that they don't when it
really.
comes to just like the whole experience. Cause like you have to think about it. Like there are a lot of people that come from like out of the country, you know, and they're spending a lot of money just to like experience this con. And I felt like the way that they handle crowds and lines, queues, and all that, it's like there's little to no signage. It's
Mm,
a shit show, for the lack
yeah,
of a better term. And it's just like, oh my god, like you have to really just go in and wing it, and you can't go in with like the thought of like, all right, I'm going to tackle this, this, and this. You can try, and that's great, but you can't be
yeah,
like
yeah,
mad if it doesn't happen, you know?
yeah. I imagine if you're like looking for signatures and stuff, it would just be a whole day of standing in lines.
Yeah, and that's what happens sometimes. There are a lot of things like I went to meet up or meet up like we're homies or something. Bruce Campbell.
Oh,
I
just hanging
I
out with the dude from Evil Dead.
no big deal.
Yeah.
No, I had to get a okay, so it's hard to explain. So there's the lottery to get into the con, right? But there's also various lotteries to get into special signature like sessions like that, or
Yeah.
to get into certain like merchandise booths too. So and they do that because again, like the lines are get crazy or whatever. So they think that that'll alleviate it, but it kind of doesn't. Anyways, so I remember I got into the Bruce Campbell one. I was so stoked, and I get up super early. I go. I need to be there at like 8 a.m. to get a wristband. And so I get a wristband. They make you stand in line for another like 2 hours or so.
Mm.
And then I noticed though, while I was standing in line, these fools, I was so pissed, dude. These fools let random people that were just, oh, woke up 2 hours later. I'm here. Can I get in this line now? And
Mm.
I was like, I had to wake up at 6 a.m. and be
Yeah.
here by 8 to get the stupid wristband. And you're letting people in just willy-nilly because there's space. Like, I was pissed. Sorry.
Be wanting to drop kick somebody after that.
I was like, I could have just slept in and then waltzed my way over here and gotten in. But because, and then you think you're special because it's a lottery to get in, anyways. So it's
Yeah.
like, okay, cool. This is like super exclusive and awesome. And then come to find like they're just letting randos in like 2 hours later. What's the point of the whole lottery system and the wristbands? Then I don't know.
Yeah.
It's stuff like that, Russ. It's stuff like that. That I'm
Be
just
on
like,
be on the news. 2 people
Uh,
got drop kicked at San Diego.
hold me back.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's things like that where it's just not organized very well, and it
Yeah,
is what
that's
it is.
one of the things I loved about Heroes Con is even though there were a lot of people there was a ton of space to be able to move around and be able
Oh,
to
that's
look through the boxes without being crowded.
nice.
And
That's very nice.
as like far as collecting go, they had like any book you could think of. They had there from like Golden Age all the way up to current stuff. It was amazing. I've never seen that many Golden Age books in like one spot.
That's amazing. Yeah, I love seeing all that too. Like anytime I'm at a con, it's like, oh my gosh, look at this. It's
Yeah,
so
collecting
beautiful.
wise, it was great. You
Yeah.
didn't have to wait long anywhere. You could like move around easy.
See, those are the best types of cons to go to because it's like not too big. There's not a ton of people, and you can just
Yeah,
kind of go where you want and check stuff off the list, and you're good to go. And that's ideal, you know. But
yeah,
when it comes to like
yeah,
STCC, it's fun. Don't get me wrong, but it's like I said, some things aren't going to pan out the way you think they will, and it's like you have to be just flexible and kind of go with the
yeah.
flow with things because it's too chaotic in there to have a real set plan. But yeah, good times though. I had a great time with my friend though out there. And yeah, but next bigger one would definitely be NYCC at some point. I don't know when though. I'll get to
Yeah,
it.
yeah. NYCC is definitely on my list of cons to hopefully go to one year.
Yeah, I got to check out WonderCon too.
Yeah, Glitter and Duct Tape was saying that was a good one.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I have family down there, so I'll definitely do that at some point. Hey,
What's up, Simply Incredible?
cool. But yeah, so oh, are you planning to do any other cons, or are you good with the HeroCon?
Yeah, just Hero Con for now, I think. Like this year, I didn't really go in with like any kind of plan. I just went with
Mhm.
like a small list of books I wanted. So next year, I'm hoping to take some stuff and get it signed and when I find out like who the guest list is going to be, I've got specific books in mind if certain people show up. So the
That's
goal for
cool.
next year is to finally, because I've never met any artists or writers. So I'm
Oh,
hoping to do
dude,
that
that's a
next year.
whole nother thing that you have to do. It's a whole
Yeah.
nother thing. It's so cool. Like when at the Rose City Comic Con, I'm trying to meet David Mack. I want him to sign
Oh, yeah.
this. Shouts out
Oh,
to
that's
Jeffrey
awesome.
Comic Con. He got this for me a while back. Very, very generous gift. But yeah, definitely want that signed. And then Arthur Sudam is going to be there. So and these, like I told you, most of my collection is in Vegas right now still. But I do have some stuff like that I bought recently or just in my bins that I have here. And I luckily had these with me. So I'm just going to take those. Army of Darkness, speaking of Bruce Campbell, which he was a sweetheart, by the way, when I finally did meet him.
Yeah, I've always heard he was real cool.
Yeah, he was really, really cool. So yeah,
are you planning on like bringing the rest of your collection up, or are you just waiting, leaving it in storage?
So I just honestly, I have to just sell stuff and then slowly but surely bring stuff up. It's just a long process. And yeah, I'm just kind of stuck in that way, but yeah, slowly but surely I've been selling stuff. I got to consolidate my boxes right now actually, but yeah, I'm still going hard on selling figures at the moment. It's not, I haven't even touched the comics. Like it's just been mostly figures. I didn't realize how big my figure collection was. And I'm like, dang it, why did I buy so many freaking figures? Because they're cool.
Well, are you selling on eBay or Etsy?
Yeah, I'm selling on eBay.
Well, feel free to promote your store. I can drop the link after the stream if you want.
Cool. Yeah. I might do that. I'm also thinking about like trying out Whatnot. I'm not sure. Simply says, got any Harley figs? Not with me. I don't think. I sold like 2 the other day, but they were from Suicide Squad movie. The old one, not even like the newer Suicide Squad stuff. But if I pull some out next time I go to my storage, Daryl, I'll definitely hit you up about that. So he's like, boo. Gretzky's here too. But it's so good to see everybody.
What's up, Mr. Gretzky?
I also want to get this one signed by Temple Smith, another great horror artist.
Oh, that's an awesome cover.
Yeah, he does really cool work. So fingers crossed they don't cancel on me, because sometimes they do drop like right before the cons. It always sucks.
I still need to watch. I've got it in my watch later list. You did a stream of how you got into horror or why you got into collecting horror.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm starting various different shows. I don't like to call them podcasts because like I do show stuff, you know, and it's not always just audio. But yeah, I started a horror show, and it's something I've been wanting to do for a while. But yeah, horror has always like fueled a lot of my collecting, you know. So I figured I just should do it because I think I like if you watch some of my shows, it's like I always end up talking about horror in some way or another. Yeah. And then like a lot of the people that are watching, I feel like that resonates with them too, because then we all start talking about it. So it's like, okay, why don't I just have a designated place for that? And then we can talk about other things, other genres on my other shows. That way it's not like, oh, here she goes again talking about horror.
It's awesome. I remember I can't remember how old I was, but I was real young. And I remember I snuck up late to watch Child's Play. That was the first
Oh
horror movie I ever saw, and I was
yeah.
terrified to go to sleep with my toys in my room.
Oh, that's the worst. I bet. I bet.
But
Mm.
that just it hooked. I like scared the death out of me, but it hooked me on horror at the same time.
Yeah. So you're kind of like me in that way where it's like back then, it I was talking about this on the show where it's like you either as a kid if you watched horror, it was either you watched it and were terrified to the point where you ran out of the room or you were terrified to the point where it was like, "Oh god, what is this? I'm
Yeah.
scared, but this is
Is
so
there a
curious."
sequel?
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
where I need to watch more. Like you're just intrigued by it. It's one or the other usually.
Yeah.
And most of my friends were always the type to run out. So yeah, it's funny. But yeah, that's a show I'm really excited for. And yeah, just been doing a lot of random stuff too. Like I do UFC watch alongs too, which have been
Those
fun
are fun.
as well. Hey, speaking of UFC, did you hear because you're a wrestling fan, you went to
Yeah.
Monday Night Raw the other day, right?
Yep.
How was that?
Oh, that was amazing.
I've never gone to one of those.
I was only the second time I've ever been. I went once, like 2018, I think it was. But
Sweet.
this time I had much better seats, and I could actually see what was happening in the
Yeah,
ring.
I was watching one of the videos you posted and it looks like you're at a concert or something. Like they
Yeah,
got the
there's
jams
so
going
many
and
people there.
everything. Yeah, it
Such a
looks
cool
fun.
experience seeing the shows in person.
That's so cool. Yeah, but as I was saying, UFC, I just saw the news earlier today actually. Because Endeavor bought
Yeah,
uh
they bought
they
WWE.
bought
Yep.
WWE as well, right? So now it's a merger of UFC and WWE. So they're both under what's called TKO now.
Yeah.
It's like a
That
bigger
should be interesting to see
umbrella company.
where
Yeah,
that goes in the future. Because I
right?
think it actually just finalized today or
Today.
yesterday, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they
I,
announced it today is I think. And then yesterday was probably, yeah, when it went down. But that's exciting.
yeah. It
Curious
definitely
about
opens up
that.
a lot of like possible like because I know there's already been UFC stars like Ronda Rousey that have
Mm,
migrated over to WWE, and
right. You see the
I know there's been
crossover.
rumors for a long time of Conor McGregor possibly showing up in WWE.
Oh man, that'd be nuts if
Yeah,
he did.
and Brock
He
Lesnar, he went back and forth from
right.
wrestling to UFC, then back to wrestling again.
Hey, he was pretty good. He was probably been the best that have come over
Yeah, I
from
know. Phil Brooks, CM Punk, he tried UFC a couple
yeah,
times and just got
he was not
destroyed.
great. Yeah, he was
Yeah,
not great. I
but
appreciate the attempt though. Like that's
yeah,
cool that he even tried it.
it, I don't know if you know, but he actually wrote a couple Marvel comics
Yeah.
when he was kind
Yeah.
of in between.
It was one of the
Yeah,
Guardians ones, right?
yeah, he did, and I think he
Drax.
did a Drax and another Guardians book. I can't remember,
That's so cool.
but yeah,
That's so cool.
that was
And
pretty cool.
there's a lot of like crossover like that where a lot of the fighters are like into comics as well. Like
Yeah,
Israel Adesanya is like super into all that too, which is always nice. I always love following them when they're geeks, they're fellow geeks.
Kurt Angle would have been amazing in UFC. Probably would have.
I don't
I
know
don't
Kurt
know if you
Angle.
know Kurt, but he was an Olympic wrestler in the actual Olympics, and he got the
Oh,
gold medal. So he was
ooh,
like
that's cool.
he could really go.
That's cool. Oh,
He's
some
been
specific.
retired now for a couple years though, neck injuries and stuff.
Oh, that sucks.
But yeah, he had a long career. He came in, gosh, maybe 1999, 2000. So he's been around a long time.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't know who he was. Ken Shamrock.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
is
was a
he?
UFC guy,
Did he ever
I
do
think.
WWE?
Yeah,
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
yeah. It was
Dang.
again, I think early 2000s, late 90s.
Wow.
Yeah, Angle actually had a broken bone in his neck when he won Olympic gold
Ugh.
medal. So
Ugh. That's crazy.
yeah, Don Severin. There's a lot of guys I forgot about. Don Severin.
Oh yeah, Densa. That was back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh, what are you talking about? Wrestling, UFC, all of the
What's up,
above.
CJ? Yeah.
Yeah, talk about it all.
But it
But
did circle
yeah,
back around to comics with CM Punk being a writer.
right.
Yeah.
That's the important. But as we've stated, we like to talk about whatever's, so that's
Yeah.
fine. Oh.
Yeah. If you guys want to hear the comic book portion that came in late, just hit the replay button. You're good.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. There's no need for editing here.
No. Just hit that rewind.
Right. It's funny. Du, du, du.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens now. Because I never thought there would be
Oh
a
yeah.
time when Vince McMahon wasn't. Because he was, geez, for the last 50 years, his family like owned that company, and now somebody else owns it.
Oh, I know.
So it's going to be interesting to see what creative differences it makes.
I have no clue. I mean, it's smart. It's a smart move.
Yeah,
But
yeah, especially with all the like legal trouble Vince got into. I'm pretty sure that's why he decided to sell in the first
probably,
place, because he had
probably.
millions of dollars that he had to pay out from to lawyers and to
Yeah,
the people that were suing him, and it was just a
suing.
mess.
For it was that all mostly because of like liability of like their injuries and stuff?
No,
Like a lot of, or what was that
he
mostly about?
he had been having affairs with all kind of different women from the
Oh,
WWE, and he
I
had
was
paid
not
them
aware
so
of
much
that.
money. Yeah, he had paid them so much money to keep it quiet, and then the stories got out, and
Oh,
more and
wow.
more people started coming forward about how Vince just
Oh,
paid them millions of dollars to basically sleep with them, and it was
oh
just
my
a
God.
huge scandal. So
No, oh, I
instead of
thought it,
just yeah, instead of just passing the company down to his family and retiring, he just sold the whole thing. I
oh
guess
my
to make up
God,
for the money that he lost in the
that he
lawsuits.
lost.
Yeah,
That's wild.
yeah,
That is wild. I didn't know that. I thought it was more to do with, because they're always saying how like how WWE didn't treat a lot of their
yeah,
wrestlers
yeah.
very well when it
Yeah,
came
he's
to like
definitely had legal issues with that in the
healthcare.
past too, with like giving
Yeah,
his wrestlers steroids and the whole thing that happened with Chris Benoit.
I know
That
very little, but I've heard
yeah,
things.
that
Yeah,
that
random things.
changed so much. Like that's when they stopped doing like the headshots with the chairs because it was
Oh,
causing concussions and
I bet.
wrestlers were getting CTE. Like they
Gee.
said, after they did the autopsy on Chris Benoit, they said he basically had the mind of like an 80-year-old Alzheimer's patient
Wow.
from all the like years of abuse and steroid use and concussions. It's crazy.
That is crazy.
So yeah, he definitely went through a lot of legal battles and stuff with that back in the day.
I think that's what had stuck with me. But yeah, I mean, UFC fighters get pretty severely injured too.
Yeah,
Um, and I think UFC like covers them for like post fight for a couple days. I don't know the exact details, but they still don't have that like healthcare full coverage kind of thing. You know what I mean?
oh yeah, they should for what they do for a living.
Oh, absolutely, they should.
It's like You know somebody's bad when you look at them and their ears are inside out. They need health
Yeah.
coverage.
No, for sure. For sure. It's like part of the job to be injured like that. And
Yeah,
it shouldn't be coming out of their own pocket.
definitely. Like
Yep.
I remember, like back when UFC first started. I can't remember the year, but I remember it getting banned in so many different states because there were just no
There are
rules
no
back
rules.
then. It was
Yeah.
just like I saw like 2 seconds of a match and it was over because the guy was just getting. I was like, oh my god, dude! I'll stick with watching wrestling. This is like
Yeah, back then
so.
it
Yeah,
was gnarly.
it was years later before I actually started watching UFC after it was more structured with rules and stuff.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, back then it was crazy.
It was
I'm
like
glad we have rules now.
Roman Coliseum,
Yeah.
like gladiators.
Well, have you seen the and I'm just going to tell you right now, I am not a fan of this, but have you seen the whole super slap or power slap thing?
I've seen like videos on Instagram and stuff, and I
Dude,
don't get that, man. That
I
just
don't
doesn't make
get
sense
it.
to me.
I'm like, I can speak freely about it now because Dana is not my boss anymore. But
Yeah,
that is freaking crazy.
yeah.
Like,
It's
are you
like
kidding me? That I don't understand. Like, he's trying to sell it like, like it's legitimate sport. And I know they said that early on with UFC, and I understand, like, but as we just said, rules have been implemented.
yeah,
Like, it's actually a lot more, it's a lot safer. I say that very loosely, but it's a lot safer than it was before. But
yeah.
with the power slapping, it's like
You
the
just taking
they're
unprotected shots. It's got
yeah,
to.
their
I've
arms
seen
are
people
behind
like a
their
clip
backs.
with faces swollen up. I'm like, that's got to cause brain damage after a while. Like, what are
I
you
don't get it.
thinking?
Like, what are they? I don't understand
It's
even the
like if I see
concept of it.
somebody's hand coming toward my face, my first instinct is to block it, protect
Why?
yourself.
I don't understand why you
Crazy.
can't defend at least in that. Like,
It's like I
I don't
don't
get it.
care how much money I'm getting. I'm not gonna stand there and take an unprotected shot from somebody with a
No.
hand the size of a sledgehammer.
And then they get knocked out. Like, they'll fall
Yeah,
straight like down, and it's like, you guys, this is not
it's like nah,
this is not a sport. Like, this is
no, that's
terrible.
definitely not for me.
Not for me either. Like, I was appalled, and I had to, like, I went and contacted some of my old coworkers. I'm like, "What do you think of this? What is going on over there?" And then, 'cause they started it after I left. And then some of my coworkers were like, "Oh yeah, it sucks because, like, we have to promote it, but we really don't
Yeah,
like it." And I'm like, "I'm so
I can't
sorry."
believe that it even caught on. I'm surprised it just didn't like premiere and just die out. I can't believe it like caught on and people watch it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I don't know. I was pretty shocked though when I saw that. I was like, they're trying so hard to promote it too. It's like
Yeah,
everywhere. And then I
yeah.
think they even
I
put
would
it
be
like on a
surprised if
free
it.
channel.
Yeah, I would be surprised if it lasts much longer because I just can't imagine it ever getting a huge enough audience to stick around.
Same, same. I know, like, the bare knuckle boxing is a thing. I didn't think that was gonna last, but it has.
Yeah,
Um, but that's also slightly different. It's still pretty freaking brutal though. I'm not into it either, but
no.
people are crazy. What can I say?
Simply Incredible Podcast. Go ahead and hit my PayPal in the description. When I get confirmation of the money, you can I'll buy you a plane ticket and you can fly down and slap me one.
I'll buy you a plane ticket after you send all that. Oh.
First class, brother.
All expenses paid.
Yeah.
Just make sure you send the money. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh man. Yeah, I definitely gotta like watch. I would love to go to an actual WWE event though. Like
Oh,
that's
it's
why I was
awesome.
like asking you how it was because I've never been ever. And I used to watch when I was a kid, but like I haven't really watched. I watch a that's a lie. I watch a little bit of the Ronda stuff
Yeah.
because I'm a big fan of Ronda. So like it was really cool to see her kind of cross over too. But she's done now, right?
Yeah, I think she's officially retired. She had her
Okay.
last match with Shayna Baszler.
Her BFF.
Yeah. So
But they were like at odds, right? That's what the story was that
yeah.
they're like, yeah,
But I mean,
that's
you never know. She might pop back up. Royal, they bring in like different for the big shows like Royal Rumble, WrestleMania. They'll bring people back for
that's so
like
cool.
one-off matches and stuff.
Yeah,
So she might pop back up.
that's neat. That's neat. Oh,
But yeah,
have you
Shayna
ever?
Baszler,
Oh,
she was another one that was in UFC or mixed martial arts at one point, I think.
yeah, she wasn't that great, but
Really.
yeah, no, she wasn't.
She
But
took the WWE really well.
yeah, I know when I saw the little because it was Rhonda that posted clips of when she one of her matches, I guess, against Shayna. I guess not this last one, but the one before that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, that's so cool. Like she's like really good. Shayna in
Oh yeah.
WWE.
She took to the WWE style faster than Ronda did. It took Ronda a while to get more used to it. Like when Ronda first started, it looked like she was legitimately hurting people.
I
Like
know.
slow down and like
Yeah, like she doesn't
acclimate the
understand there's a
style. Yeah.
difference between MMA and
Yeah.
pro
You
wrestling.
could tell a couple of those punches she was throwing was actually connected. And people were
Yeesh.
like, wait a minute. Time out.
Oh my god. How dare you?
Yeah.
Simply,
What'd he say?
he likes Shayna better than Ronda.
Uh,
I don't. I'm just joking. I'm just joking because she is better in the WWE.
yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it's so cool to see that though. To see that they've crossed over.
Most definitely.
Yeah. Hello. Hey, Danger.
What's up, Danger? Perry Comic or Perry
Perry.
Gaming.
It's always good to see Perry.
Yeah. He's all over the place with he's got a comic channel and a gaming channel now.
I know when I came back from the hiatus, and then I was mingling with him, and he's told me about his video game channel. I was like, whoa, whoa, that's so cool.
Yeah. His gaming channel blew up like
That's
crazy.
awesome. That's awesome. At some point, and you too, Russ, I want to like get people to come on. I'm trying to like build my shows first before I start
Yeah.
inviting people, but like eventually, I want us all to like hang out with maybe do a horror show.
Oh, definitely. Anytime.
Yeah.
Just drop me a link whenever and I'll pop in.
Cool. Perfect. Yeah. Because I know Perry likes horror too.
Yeah. There's a lot of new stuff I need to catch up on that I haven't seen yet. Like I never did watch the last Halloween that came out. I still haven't seen that. The
Oh yeah,
last Insidious
Halloween
I haven't seen yet. Um, there's a lot of new stuff I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I think within the last year, a lot of the horror that's come out, I haven't been super impressed by. They're
Really?
not to say that it's terrible or anything, but it's just kind of middle of the road type of thing. But one that I've really enjoyed more recently was Talk to Me. I think that's what it's called. Talk to Me. That one was
I'll
good.
have to check that
And
out.
yeah, I really liked Renfield. If you're into comedy horror, that was awesome.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I
then
love like Shaun of the Dead. That's like one of my
yeah,
favorites as far as comedy horror goes.
yeah. Oh, say it, Jojo. It's whack. What? What's whack? The Bun, the Nun 2. I saw the Nun 2
Oh,
actually. Um,
I
I
haven't
liked it.
seen either of those yet.
The first one was bad. The first one.
It's funny. It's like the supernatural, like poltergeist side of horror. Those kind of movies still like give me chills.
There's
It's
something.
like easier for me to watch like a
Oh,
slasher
like a
flick
slasher.
or
That's interesting.
but like the ghost story type horror, those are the
Gotcha.
ones that freak me out. I love them though. I guess
Those like
because they still
linger more.
kind of freak me out a little bit.
I think, and I definitely see where you're coming from because I feel like with slashers, you just the gore in it, like
Yeah,
it's like you just know it's fake, right? Like the
yeah.
splats and stuff.
You know what's coming. With
Yeah,
like
you
the
know it's coming, you know it's
psychological, like
fake.
the mysteries,
Yeah,
like I love those type of movies, but that they scare me.
exactly. Yeah,
But that's what I
the
love
one
about it, like to still be able to watch a movie that kind of makes you shiver, gives you chills up your spine. That's awesome.
that's what's
That's how you
cool.
know it's
Yeah.
a good movie.
Mhm. Mhm. I think it's amazing that like film can make you react that way, you know?
Yeah,
Even though your brain, like, logically, you know it's
yeah.
fake, but it's still like, "Oh my
It's like
gosh, creepy."
the
It
girl from
affects
the
you.
ring is not going to crawl through my TV.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. God, that movie was frightening the first time I
Yeah.
saw it too.
I
I
like
think
those kind of movies over where it's like a slow build up.
I was about to say that. Like, there's something to be said about those because
Yeah.
I feel like lately we haven't been getting as many that are like that because the generation now, like they're they just can't sit through something like that. They're just kind of, used to social media, the quick
Yeah.
paced edits and stuff like that.
The
And you think
shaky
about,
cam and stuff.
yeah, you think about like The Shining or something where it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
super slow
That's
burn.
yeah. That's an absolute favorite of mine, The Shining.
Yeah, that's a good one. And I think about it, I'm like, dude, they would never have this wouldn't happen. Like now, I feel like a movie like that, I don't even think it would have been, maybe it would have been successful, but not nearly as it was
Yeah,
back then.
probably not. I went down a rabbit hole one night of watching like theories about the movie The
Mm,
Shining. It was like just
mhm.
different videos of like different theories. Like one, it was one where they played the movie in reverse and forward at the same time and put them side by side and show how like the events like line up and
Oh,
different
whoa.
theories and different stuff. It was crazy.
Oh man, that just gave me chills.
Yeah,
You need to tell me where I can find that because that's cool.
I'll have to look that video up again because it's been
Yes,
a while. But
please.
it was on YouTube.
Okay, I'll try to find that too.
If I find it, I'll send you the link on Instagram.
Yes, please.
Bart Simpson had The Shining.
Shitty.
I could imagine that in like one of the Treehouse of Horror episodes of The Simpsons.
Yeah. Uh, Good
Oh
times with
yeah,
that.
Carrie was a good one.
Oh, Carrie. Yeah. Carrie's a good.
Yeah.
I actually have the pop of Carrie. Let me see. Go
Oh
grab
yeah.
it real quick. That's something I haven't been able to let go of are my horror pops. I just have to at
Oh,
least have my horror pops still.
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I know that they
Cool.
did a remake of that movie or something, but I never saw the remake.
I saw the remake. Did not like the remake.
Oh, really?
Not
It's hard to
terrible, but
beat
it's
the
just kind
originals.
of like, again, just kind of meh, you know? I'd rather just watch the old one.
Did you like any of the old Stephen King movies like Christine or Pet Cemetery?
Pet Cemetery was super creepy to me back in the
Yeah.
day.
That was
Chris
one that definitely freaked me out back in the day.
Yeah, did you ever watch the remake? more recently.
No.
So the remake was also pretty scary. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, but obviously, like nothing is gonna beat the old ones.
Gonna have to check that out.
I never seen the sequel though. Pet Cemetery 2.
I have, but it's been so long I don't really remember anything about it.
I
I know
gotta check
for
it
a
out.
long time in the 90s I was like obsessed with like zombie movies, Dawn of the Dead, uh stuff like that.
Yeah. I didn't really get into zombie movies until later. And then I just like love them now. But same thing happened to me with horror comedy. Didn't I didn't under growing up as a kid, I was
Yeah.
like, why is there comedy in my horror? Like I didn't like it. And then no, but once I got older, I like understood everything and understood the humor and the kind of like there's an irony to that where it's
I
like,
think I think Army of Darkness was like the first horror comedy that I ever saw, and then I went back and I watched the Evil Dead movies after that.
nice.
But Army of Darkness was what introduced me to like horror comedy. Like I didn't know that genre existed until I saw that movie.
Yeah, I want to say the same for me. I don't remember if it was either Army of Darkness or Drag Me to Hell. But I didn't see Army of Darkness till I was way older, and then I remember not liking it. And I
Oh,
was like,
really?
why? Yeah, at first I was like, why? Again, I was like naive and I'm like, why? I don't get why why are they making it funny? Like I don't want it to be funny. I
Yeah.
want my
It was
gore.
definitely like way over the top.
It was, and I wasn't expecting that. And I was like, because I hadn't watched any of the Evil Deads yet, like you. Army of
Yeah.
Darkness was my first one in the series. And then so I had that already. I had already watched it, but then I saw Drag Me to Hell and I loved Drag Me to Hell like years later. I was like,
I'm
"Oh,
gonna
I
have to
like
check that one
this."
out. That's another one I haven't seen.
Yeah, and then I
But
started realizing like, "Oh, I get Army of Darkness now." And so I went back and rewatched like all the Evil Deads and I was like, "I can't believe this." Like I can't believe that I just like I get it now. Something clicked, you know?
I know I was so confused when I went back and I watched Evil Dead and then Evil Dead 2
Evil too. Yeah.
because I was like, this is the same movie. What
Same thing.
with
Yeah, yeah.
different actors joining
It's like
Bruce
a
Campbell.
it's
Yeah,
like recap.
I was like, I put it like part two, and he was going back to the cabin again. I was like, what?
Like, wait a minute.
I was like, is the VHS tape wrong?
Yeah, I
It
wonder
threw
if
me off
they
so
did that
bad.
to like maybe because they knew like the first one wasn't, I don't know, like super popular maybe, and they wanted like to have people know the story. I don't know. It was weird
Yeah.
though. That was weird.
But yeah, that confused me the first time I saw it because I was early teens.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. Evil Dead was a franchise that I definitely it definitely caught me off guard like in the beginning. And I was
Yeah,
like, oh, it kind of changed my whole world though after that because I was like, oh wow, now I like freaking love horror comedies, you know? And I get it, but and I think it came from my mom because she never liked horror comedy either. Like even later when I was older, I would be like, Mom, let's watch this. And the only one that I could get her to watch, and she actually liked was I guess Fright Night. Fright Night's a little bit of a horror
oh yeah,
comedy. And she was like, "I loved that." I'm like, "Oh, that's great." So now I'm like slowly kind of trying to introduce all these other movies to her. But
yeah. That was another one I think they did a remake of that I haven't seen. I think they
oh
did
yeah,
a remake of Fright Night.
they did. I actually just saw it not too long ago. Oh my gosh, I have a where is it?
Was it pretty good?
I I actually rented it from the Netflix red
The,
envelopes. I
the
still
DVDs.
subscribe to that. It's ending though. They're gonna cancel it finally, sadly.
I couldn't
This,
believe they still had that.
I know it's this month they're ending it. I'm so sad. So sad. Anyways, it's somewhere
End
around
of an
here.
era.
I'm keeping it. I'm not sending it back. Anyways, Fright Night. Fright Night was the last one I got, the remake. But yeah. Oh, what are your favorite top 5 horror films? Crystal, how could you do this to me? Don't ask me that. um oh god. Okay, so definitely Halloween. Michael Myers is probably my number one. But you're asking favorite, right? So that's different than like what I deem to be best, like objectively speaking. So subjectively, yeah, I'll go Halloween. I'll go maybe Friday. This is in no particular order. It's just the top 5. So Friday final chapter probably, and then Freddy the first one, and then God, oh, it gets hard after that.
Those are some solid picks, though.
Dude, it's so hard. Oh, this is definitely not a typical one, but that people put in their top 5 a lot of times. But Blair Witch, I loved
Oh
Blair
yeah,
Witch Project. Blair Witch
the
Project.
original one. That was
The
wild.
original one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it got so much hate back in the day, but it's amazing. How many is that? 4?
I think that was 4.
I'll go with Saw. Boom. Did it.
Oh, that's a good pick.
Yeah.
The first couple Saw movies were really good.
Yeah. They were. Oh, that's tough. Oh my god, I forgot about the Night of the Living Dead. Ugh. It's okay. It's fine. I said that was favorites. That was
Yeah,
favorites.
it's
Those are
hard.
the
It's
ones I
hard to
could
do
pop
just
in.
5. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Critters.
Critters.
That's a
That's funny.
classic.
Yeah. How about you, Russ? What are your top 5?
Oh gosh.
Oh, I didn't
Number
even say
one.
Shining either. It's so hard. You got to put
Number one for
Shining because
me
you said
has
it
to. Yeah.
earlier.
Number
Yeah.
one is definitely Shining for me. Gosh, I got to go with the first Child's Play since that was like the first horror movie I saw. Let's see, what would be? I can't remember which Friday the 13th it was, but it was the one that had I think Corey Haim in it, where he shaved his head at the end and like um,
Wait, sorry, which one?
I think it was Corey Haim or
For which
it,
franchise did you say?
Friday the 13th.
Oh. Oh.
He ended up shaving his
You're
head at the end of
talking
the
about
movie
no, yeah,
where
you're talking
Jason was
about
coming up
the
the
other
stairs.
Corey. You're
Oh,
talking about the other Corey.
was it
But
Corey
yeah,
Hart?
that's the one I chose, final
Yeah.
chapter as well. Yeah.
Oh,
That's
okay.
a
I
good
couldn't remember which one it was in the series, but that one I remember really
that's the
enjoying
best
that one.
one. That's
Yeah.
the best one. Well, I mean, number 1's good too, but I don't
Um,
know.
I really like the Lost Boys. That was a favorite of mine back in the day.
Sounds amazing.
Gosh, I don't. I had a hard time thinking of one good
It's
enough to get in
hard,
the
isn't
top
it?
5.
You're at 4 right now, right? So one more.
Yeah. Oh man. I'm gonna go with the original black and white Dawn of the Dead.
Yes.
That was a good.
Love some old zombie action. I also like the remake too.
Yeah. Oh,
The
the one with
Zack Snyder.
Ving Rhames,
Yes, I think.
where they were in the mall.
It was yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Mhm.
I had that
It
movie
was
on DVD for a while back in the day.
it
I
was
think it was one I ended up
surprisingly good.
trading. Yeah.
Oh, look at Glitter's picks. Those are
Halloween,
solid.
Frankenstein, Lost Boys, Night of the Living Dead, and Carrie. Nice.
Those are solid.
I started to go
Ye
funny and say Jason X or something.
see
that
see,
that
that
was
would
a
make
fun
sense
like
though,
horror
because it's
comedy kind
like
of thing.
but you know what? Like, she did ask what your favorites are, right? So that's why it's like, you don't really have to they don't have to be, like, the best ever, but if they're your
Yeah,
favorites, right?
I,
It's
I did
fine.
enjoy it. That was like just a fun like horror comedy popcorn Jason movie. Like I never thought I would see a Jason movie where he basically turned into Terminator.
I I have I seen that one? I don't think I
That
saw it.
was
That's
that
the
was
only
so
one I
weird.
haven't seen.
It was like he got flash frozen and woke up
Yeah,
like 100 years later in space,
that one
and they
came
had
out
like nanotechnology and stuff. It's
I
crazy.
vividly remember the poster to that one, and
Yeah.
I didn't go watch it for some reason, but
It was one of those movies that was so bad it was hilariously funny. It's just like
oh,
a fun
yeah.
movie to watch. Sit down with some popcorn and just enjoy yourself.
I have it in my set. I should just watch it tonight.
It's a good one, man. It's definitely
Mhm.
funny.
I think
But yeah,
that's the
that was one
only
I
one I
watched
haven't
at
seen.
least a dozen times. And I really love the Freddy versus Jason movie too. It was
I
cheesy
lo
and
that
fun.
yeah, I love it too. I have such good memories of, like, going to the theater to watch that one, and I
But
understand the
yeah,
criticisms.
yeah.
Russ and
But it was
JoJo
just
have it.
it was fun.
Yeah. I haven't, by the way, Crystal. I
Uh,
haven't seen Dark
no, I've never
Shadows.
seen Dark Shadows. Is it
Um,
she said it was a TV show. Is it
I've heard
older
of
or
it.
newer?
I think it's older.
I remember a couple horror TV shows. They actually had one called Friday the 13th, but it didn't have anything to do with Jason. It was like a just like a
Uh,
superstition type horror show or something on TV.
that's interesting because I have seen I've seen, like, the DVD set of that, and I always wondered, like, I never knew there was a show, but it's
Yeah.
interesting that you're
Yeah, when I
oh,
originally heard about it back in the day, I thought it was going to be like a Friday the 13th
Friday.
TV show, like, but it wasn't based on Jason at all.
Interesting. Good to know. Good to know. Did you
It
ever
was,
watch the
what was you
what
going
was
to
that?
say?
Scream. There was this a series on, I think, MTV for Scream that I never saw
I,
either.
yeah, I never saw the series, but I did watch, well, I can't say all the movies because I haven't seen the newest one that came out a couple
Mm.
years ago, but I was a big fan of the Scream movies, but I haven't seen the TV series.
Yeah, I'm caught up with Scream. Caught up with Scream. Definitely the older ones I like better, but the number 6 was pretty good, I thought.
I'm gonna have to watch that because I still haven't. There's so, I'm behind on so many movies. Like
Yeah,
the last new movie I saw was Endgame in the theaters.
in
So
the game. Which one's that one?
Avengers Endgame.
Oh, Avengers Endgame. Oh,
Yeah, that
gotcha.
was the
Yeah,
last
yeah,
new movie I saw in theaters. So
yeah.
I'm like
Yes.
I'm years behind on so many
You're just like
movies.
me with shows, though. That's how I am too with shows.
Like one day I'm gonna like find some place and binge all the movies that I missed over the last 4 years.
Yeah, yeah, it'll be fine once you catch up. I'm doing that right now, just catching up on stuff. Hey, Joseph.
Basically, Warehouse 13. Yeah,
Make sure
Cursed
you hit that
Artifacts.
button.
That's what it was.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was trying to remember because it's been a long time, but it
Huh.
was a pretty cool show from the few episodes that I remember seeing.
I'll still check it out.
And I
Oh,
remember
Mr.
another horror TV show. I can't remember the name of it, but it was a werewolf show. He had like a pentagram on his hand, and it was like the curse. And he would. It was a pretty cool show, though.
Was it more recent?
Oh no, I want to say it was either very late '80s or super early '90s.
Oh, I don't remember that. Maybe somebody in the chat knows.
I wish I could remember the names of some of these shows, but it's been like years.
Years.
But
Yeah, I don't know.
he got a curse or something from a gypsy, and it put this pentagram on his hand, and every full moon he would turn into a werewolf.
Teen Wolf.
No, no,
I love
it
Teen
wasn't
Wolf.
Teen Wolf, but that's a good one.
Oh, classic though.
Yeah,
Was it called Werewolf? Yeah, that show's
it might
cute.
have been just called Werewolf.
I never heard of it. Interesting. I'll check that out
That's
too.
another one I'm gonna have to like look up myself and see if I can
I know.
find
I
it.
wonder if it's like streaming anywhere because that'd be
It
cool.
might be like some like one of those like off-brand streaming channels like Tubi or something crazy.
Tubi has like some obscure stuff. I love it.
Yeah, it's
Tubi's
like
awesome.
those are the only streaming services I have right now are the couple that are free.
Yeah.
So I get some pretty like wild like off-brand stuff on some of those.
Yeah. I mean, it'll keep you entertained though,
Yeah.
for sure. What did I watch for free the other day? I think it was Terrifier 2. I finally got around to watching the second one, um, which was pretty good. I really did like it. But yeah, I still need to go. I know you're not caught up with movies, but I really do want to go check out Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the new one that
Oh
just
yeah.
came out.
I've seen a lot of people give that good reviews on Instagram.
Yeah, I
I
don't know
know
if I'm gonna.
Kavi, he said it was awesome.
Yeah, a lot of people are definitely recommending it. So I don't know though, because my mom's coming to visit this weekend, so I don't know if I'll have
Uh,
time. And I'm scared that it's gonna like not. It's gonna be out of theaters by the time I get a chance to go watch it.
like that happens quick now, it seems like.
It does because of
It's
streaming.
like
They,
in theaters like
yeah,
a couple weeks it feels like, and then it's on streaming.
right. That's how it feels like. So I keep like checking to make sure it's in the theater still, and it is. So I just don't know how much longer because it's been a couple weeks now. It's been like a month, I think. The
Well, Joseph
shocker.
said it only lasted 29 episodes, the werewolf show.
Oh, that'll be a nice little binge for me.
Yeah. Now, I remember a movie called The Shocker where it was just this guy on death row and he got electrocuted and
I
he
remember
came back from the
the
dead or
box
something.
art for that. I remember the box art, but I don't remember watching it. Just remember always seeing it at the movie rental place.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was another '90s flick.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Because I remember there was like we used to have to go to the laundromat back in the '90s,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and there was a video store right beside it. So I was like always hitting up the video store and renting movies and stuff while my
Nice.
mom was washing clothes.
That's cool. I miss the movie rental places.
Yeah, you don't see many like there's like a local place called Family Video that's
Mhm.
still in business.
Oh, you wanna see something cool? Hold on. You don't get a chance. I'm gonna show it to you. I haven't even shown this on my channel, so this is an
Oh, really?
exclusive right now.
Nice.
This I pulled off the wall basically when my Blockbuster was closing, and they didn't care. They allowed me to do it, and it was awesome. And
Oh, sweet.
isn't that crazy? So it
It's
does have
crazy
this
to
little
think of Blockbuster as like a relic from the past now.
right. That's what it.
That's awesome.
And then it has a little scuff right there, but I'm wondering, you think I should just leave it like that, or should I just actually like paint it, cover
I
it?
don't know. It might be cool to leave it like that.
Just
Like
leave it.
battle worn.
Right. And then there's a little scuff right there too. But
That's
dude,
awesome though.
yeah, it's legit from the Rancho Cucamonga store. So
Yeah, I
might
definitely remember those days. We had like a Blockbuster on one side of the street, and on the other side we had Hollywood Video. It was like
I love
Blockbuster.
Hollywood Video.
Yeah,
I actually
it
liked
was
Hollywood
awesome. It was like
Video
right
more than
across the street.
Blockbuster.
Really?
I did, because they had the deal. They had the
Yeah.
2 rentals, 2 popcorns, and like 2 candies, 2 drinks for like freaking $10 or $12 back in the day.
You definitely can't get that now.
No. You think about it, it's like, damn, that was a great deal.
Yeah. You go in and try to get like a popcorn and a drink now, and it's like an extra $40 or something.
Right. Right. It's ridiculous, dude. Yeah, I think I bought. So when I go to the theater, I like to snack it up. And I remember the other day I paid something near like $30, and I just had like 2 or 3 small things. And I was like, this is why families just can't afford going to the movies anymore. This is why streaming services are the go-to now. Like and I get it. Like the concession stand is how these movie places stay open. The theaters stay open. But damn, dude, like inflation's crazy right now.
Oh, no doubt. Everything. Like I noticed, like even like collectible figures in stores are going up. Like the Marvel Legends have gone like from 19.99 to like $32 now at like local
That's
Books A Million.
ridiculous. Yeah, it is
Like,
getting
dang.
out of hand.
Can't even afford to collect.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I stopped. It's so expensive up here in the Bay too. So it's like double whammy with inflation.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
It's ridiculous. So it's like, not only do I not have space, but it's like, all right, the extra money I'm getting a month is not going to be going to collectibles if they're going to be that freaking pricey. So I'd rather just, save it or whatever.
It's like pay rent or get this figure.
Yeah. Yeah. Spend it on important things, necessities. But it's just out of hand these days. It's out of hand.
Definitely.
Sure.
What's up, Jackson?
Hey, Jackson.
Yeah, I think the first hour is about comics.
Glitter says that she brings her own snacks. I do that.
Oh yeah, I've done that before.
I used to do it more often, but then like I started thinking about like, okay, maybe I should support the theater because I do want them to stay open. So then I started buying the snacks more, but then with inflation, like here, I'm like, damn, it's like way out of hand here. In Vegas, like everything's way cheaper. So it was like easy to do all that. But here I'm like, you know what? I'm going to sneak in my soda for sure. I just bring in a can, like a cold can, because my theater is like right there. It's literally like,
oh, that's cool.
It's like 3 minutes from me. Yeah. So the can stays pretty chilled until I get there. And they don't have like Coke Zero, which is what I like, or Pepsi Zero or something. So yeah, they had it when I first moved out here. And then for some reason, they just like got rid of it. So I'm like, all right, well, y'all are forcing my hand here. Like I have to sneak it in now.
Yeah, I know like the last couple times I went and saw movies a couple years ago, I didn't like bother to get any snacks. I just like got the ticket, watched the movie, went home. But back when I was younger, I remember like even in the summertime, I would wear like my hoodie with the pockets on the front, and I would have like
Mm,
a 20-ounce soda in there and a pack of Skittles or
heck
something.
yeah. Heck yeah. And then at some point, I don't know if this happened in your area, but some of our theaters started like asking us to show them what was in our pockets.
Oh, really?
Did that ever happen to you?
No, not here. We only have like one theater though. It's like a Regal theater for walk-in. But they
Ours,
did just last month they recently reopened a local drive-in here for the first time in like
nice.
15 years, I think.
Dude, you should take advantage
So
of
yeah, I'm
that.
definitely gonna go up there. One of these weekends, I'm gonna get up there for sure because it's
Mhm.
been 15 years and they finally reopened it.
That's awesome.
The driving experience was like so cool as a kid to me.
Yeah, it's sad that like this generation probably doesn't even know what that is, you know?
Oh yeah.
It's like wild to me. Um, actually, I should ask Glitter. Um, are there any like drive-ins out here that are pretty good? I thought there was one at the Coliseum, but I guess it's not. It's just like it used to be, or I don't know if they closed it, but it seems to be just a flea market all the time now instead. But let me know because that'd be cool to check out a movie at the drive-in.
I remember the last movie I saw at a drive-in. I think it was either 1999 or 2000, and it was Jackie Chan's Mr. Nice Guy.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah, I'm trying
I
to
went I
remember
went
what.
to see that with my dad because he loved martial arts movies too.
Oh, that's so cool. I think the last movie I saw at the drive-in was Tenet, if I remember correctly, during COVID.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's definitely a thing you don't really see anymore.
No, it's sad.
Yeah,
It's sad because it is a different experience. It's fun.
yeah. It's like what like watching everything. It's just going to the digital era.
Hmm.
Like I just I
Well,
miss
how do you
the
feel
physical media and stuff.
going back to comics? How do you feel about digital comics?
Um, I've read a few only because it's like I either didn't have the book or couldn't afford the book, so I would read it digitally.
Hmm.
But like I definitely prefer having the actual book or at least a trade paperback of stories
It's not the
because
same,
I
huh?
like yeah I just liked having the actual book to read. But
Yeah.
there are a few that I've like Savage She-Hulk 1. I have that in a slab. So the only way I could read it was digitally. So I looked up the digital and read that. And like there's a few like Action Comics 1 I've read digitally because obviously I'm never going to own that book, but now they have
Hmm.
the reprints and stuff, which is cool. But back then, a couple
They,
years ago, the only way I could read it was digitally. But that's why I love the facsimiles that they do now.
oh yeah, they're awesome. I always try to pick them up like whenever I
Yeah.
see them.
It's like
Or
because those are books like Detective Comics 27, Action Comics 1. You're obviously never going to have like the real deal.
no.
So the facsimiles are awesome to be able to just read the stories.
Yeah, or even just have if you are, like, building the run, it's nice to just
Yeah,
have the like you said, we're probably never ever gonna have them,
yeah,
but, it's nice to just have it there.
yeah. I wish
And
they
some
would
of
do
those
more
some
of
of those
like
do get valuable too later.
yeah, I've noticed that some of them are like gone up.
Mhm.
But it would be nice if they started doing that in runs, like reprint the first 10 issues or something,
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
instead of just doing
I
like number ones or first appearances.
Yeah, or instead of, like, the omnibus, like, the full omnibus, it'd be nice to
Yeah,
have the singles. Yeah.
because yeah, the omnibuses are cool, but they can get expensive quick too.
They're cool, but the one thing that's annoying. Well, there's a couple things. They're like it's sometimes hard to read them because they're so big.
Yeah.
And it's like you have to carry a weight with you the whole time.
I've only got one omnibus. There's a local store here called Ollie's. It's a discount store.
Oh, I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know how omnibuses are normally like 100, 125, 150? Yeah. They had this omnibus for Guardians for $20.
Wow.
So it's the only omnibus in my collection right now because it was only $20.
Awesome. What a steal.
But yeah, it collects like all the different first appearances and stuff.
Okay, cool. So like the keys and the pivotal moments in the story, probably.
So this book is what made me a fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy because I didn't know anything about it until I started reading the stories.
That's really cool.
But yeah, when I saw that for $20, I was like, how can you leave that behind?
No, yeah, you have to take it.
$100 book for $20. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, there's a site where they'll do like half off, which is better than obviously the normal price.
Oh yeah.
But I forgot what it's called. Half price books? No, that's the store. It's called. Let me try to find it.
You know, there's one called I remember one called Discount Comics.
Discount Comics.
But I don't remember if they had omnibuses or not. It might be a different thing.
Oh my gosh, I cannot think of it right now. Hardcover.
I've been thinking about getting the Death of Superman omnibus because that collects the death, the reign, the return, everything.
That would be awesome to have. Yeah, there's certain stories I would totally do it for, but I can't find it. If I find it, I'll let you know.
I love just getting the like trade paperbacks though for like smaller stories.
Oh yeah, that's what I've been doing more recently. I'm reading this right now, The Long Halloween.
Physics. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Where'd I put it? Oh, it's over on the other shelf. I've got that one though.
Yeah, my sister got me that one, and so I was like, all right, I need to get back into reviews. So that's the next one on the list. And
I love being able to read them like that, being able to read the whole story arc in a trade.
That's exactly what I was about to say, because it's like, it's kind of like what I was telling you before, where I, as a collector and like trying to fill runs, I have some of those issues, and I've read like one or two of them here and there, but it was never all the way through. So now I get to read the whole thing. So it's kind of cool.
That's definitely the best way to do it, I think, if you're a reader.
Yeah. I think that's the tough thing about collecting. At least for me, it's like I have that collector side, but I also have the side that's like infatuated with the artwork and the story. So it's like, sometimes I just want to open the freaking books, but the collector in me is like, well, this one's like not in nice condition. You don't want to open it. So then you just grab trades like that.
Yeah, it's like I've been collecting this Dark Phoenix saga run in slabs.
I saw that. That's so cool.
And I finally got the last book today, so it's on the way through eBay.
Oh, nice. Congrats.
But I've got the trade paperback of the Dark Phoenix saga.
Perfect. See?
To be able to read it. I can't tell you how many times I've read this book. It's still my all-time favorite X-Men storyline.
Yeah, that's a good.
So it was a huge collecting goal to put together the single issues.
That's awesome. That is so cool.
But yeah, whenever I get stuff in slabs, I love to have the trades so I can actually read it.
That's the way to go, I think, if you're going to do the slab thing.
Yeah. I remember in 2018, I decided to get my very first slab, and I just wanted to have one in the collection, and then it just
Mhm.
turned into a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a couple slabs. I have one
Yeah.
right here.
Thanks,
Uh,
SDA.
I bought this one the other day, actually.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Signed by
Damian
Andy.
Wayne's first appearance.
Yep. And then Andy Kubert's signature.
That's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, this was at one of the little cons I went to out here. Very decently priced. So I was like, okay. So when I see a good deal, I'll definitely snag it, even if it's in a slab.
Yeah.
But typically, I'm a raw collector.
Yeah, I am too. Like the biggest, like I would say maybe I've got 30 slabs in the collection,
Cool.
which is
Yeah.
just mainly because of this collection, because this added like 10 slabs.
Uh-huh. I probably have about 20, I would say, too. We're probably similar in the
Yeah.
count.
But yeah, I do prefer collecting raw.
Me too. Me
Just
too.
for one reason, it's cheaper. And you
It's
can,
cheaper, but I
yeah,
also like there's something about being able to hold it too,
yeah, open the book up, check it
open
out.
it up. Yeah. Because
Yeah,
sometimes if you think about it, like with that one, it's like, okay, I feel like I'm collecting plastic versus paper,
yeah,
you know? And I just have some kind of thing with paper, I think.
yeah. There's very few books that I would get or just buy slabbed instead of raw. It would just be like either a book that's worth a lot of money or maybe a signed book that I want to protect. But for
Mhm.
the majority, I'm gonna like at the Heroes Con, one of my grails to look for was Marvel Career 15, the first Iron Fist,
Ooh,
and then I ended up getting that in a raw copy because I found a great deal on it. To, like actually be able to like read his first appearance was awesome.
nice. Yeah.
So that was definitely one I wanted to get raw as opposed to slab, even though it was like a big key because I just wanted to read it.
Yeah. Yeah, I get both sides of it because I see how the slabs can become addicting too, you know?
Yeah.
Totally. Like, especially if you're trying to play the number game with the grades and the,
Oh yeah.
like,
Well, with,
flipping or something, you know?
yeah. Well, with me, it's like I go for the lower grades, like 6.0.
Mhm. Yeah.
I'm definitely not a 9.8 kind of guy because I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like because I'm getting them for my collection. I know I'm not gonna like try to resell them. So if I can find a lower grade for a cheaper price, I'm getting it.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm kinda that way with signatures too.
Yeah.
I've realized, like, I just don't have the patience to go over or want to do the work, to go over to the CGC booth and have a witness come with me and wait
Yeah.
in line with me and do that
Yeah.
whole
Like
thing,
I
and
was like
then
I've got some signature books, but I've bought them from eBay and stuff instead of
yeah,
like
I'll do that,
standing in
or
line.
I don't mind going and meeting them. My thing is, like, I don't want to have to get CGC involved in it
Yeah.
and then have to submit my book and then wait, like, whatever, 6 months or whatever to get my book back. Like, it's gonna be in my collection, so it's not a big deal,
Yeah.
but I can see, like, if your hobby is just, like, flipping and trying to, like,
Yeah.
get profit from whatever you're doing, like, I can definitely see why you would do that, but again, there's different, like, aspects to the hobby, right? Like, some people are just into that where they just
Oh yeah.
try to buy cheap, they, like, press their books and,
Get a
like,
higher grade. Yeah.
get higher grades, resell, and then gain profit and keep it rolling like that, which is pretty cool too. Like,
Yeah.
no shade on that, but
Oh yeah.
it's
Yeah. If
definitely
you can like use the hobby to fund the hobby, that's great.
yeah, that's cool. It's just for me, I just feel like I'm I'm like perfectly content with raw
Yeah.
and like for my own collection. Maybe at some point if like I feel like I'm completely done with collecting my own stuff, like maybe I could get into like the whole CGC stuff and like flipping and
Yeah.
like trying to get the best grades or whatever. But I feel like that's a whole separate sub hobby, you know?
Yeah. Like there's only one book that I really went after in a 9.8, and that was the Superman 75 signed by Dan Jurgens. I bought a copy of
Ooh,
that in a 9.8 just because that's the storyline that really brought me in. So that's like a
nice.
sentimental buy.
Special.
So yeah, I really wanted that one in high grade.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah,
I don't even think I own a 9.8. I think highest I have is 9.6. This one's a nine. That one was a 9.4. My 9.6. Yeah, I think that's the highest I have. I don't have a 9.8.
I've got a few, but that's just because I got them like at great deal, like Amazing Spider-Man 400 with the Tombstone cover. I have
Mm,
that in a 9.8 because I found it on eBay for $40.
sweet. I
Yeah,
mean, like I
and at the
said,
time, yeah, raw copies were 30, so I was like
oh
an extra
wow.
$10, like I might as well get it in a 9.8.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like if
Yeah,
you stumble upon a deal, like
yeah.
yeah, for sure grab it,
It
right?
was it was before the comic boom hit, and there was like a lot of great deals.
Oh yeah. That's when I was deep into it. So like 2018.
Yeah.
2018, I found huge. I even did a series on my channel about it, but like one of my stores closed and I basically just like went in and with my bins and just grabbed whatever I could. It was like so dirt cheap, 50 cents for like freaking,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, most of them. And then like some of them were 10 cents. And then I think like it was just what was it called? Certain variants, certain ratioed variants were like a
Oh, yeah.
dollar. Yeah,
Wow.
crazy. It was crazy, but that was when my collection like just grew. It was around that time, 2018, because I had started collecting more seriously in 2015 because I stopped, right? So like as a kid, I was telling you
Yeah.
guys earlier, as a kid, I was like dabbling, like I had my little collection, but it was nothing, it wasn't anything crazy. It was just like, maybe a collection of like 30 comics or something. And little humble collection, but I loved them. And then I stopped when I was probably, I don't know, once I hit like 6th grade or junior high, around there, I stopped. And then I didn't start back up until like 2012 was when I started reading a lot of like the New 52, and I was like, "You know what? That's when I was telling you I reread Nightfall."
Oh, yeah.
And it just was amazing to revisit that. And then I just got sucked in because like all that's when all the movies were starting to come out too. And it was just wild. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so in right now. So yeah, I started collecting more seriously later.
Yeah. I
And
know for me, it was I started in '93 and I collected all the way up to 2000, and I
mm,
ended up selling a bunch of my books, and I only kept my long box of Superman books. And from 2000 to 2015, I wasn't collecting, and
okay,
I
yeah.
started like going through some stuff, and I found my Superman box. And I started going through it, and just that collecting bug just hit me again, and I started collecting again in 2015.
It never goes away. Like it does, but then it comes back.
Yeah.
I feel like that's happened to me with not just comics, with like figures too.
Oh yeah.
Like just go
It's
through
like
these
now I'm getting
phases.
like it's like I'm reliving my childhood now.
I
It's
know.
like
I
I'm
feel
getting
that
all the
way.
stuff I couldn't get back then.
Exactly. Exactly. Because like, when you're a kid, you don't have it's like I was
Yeah.
lucky to have an allowance, so I would spend it on that. Like, even with my
Yeah.
movies, right? Like, I remember my mom, she would give me some money, and I would just have it. It wasn't a lot, but I remember I had enough to go to Walmart and buy a $5 DVD and a bag of hot Cheetos, and I was set, and maybe a Pepsi.
That was living large back then.
Oh God, right? It was. I was just like in heaven. I would go back home, just pop it in and freaking lounge and just have the best time. Oh,
Yeah,
it's
I
great.
remember with me, I would walk to school in the mornings, and I would stop in this shop, and I would spend my lunch money on that week's comic book.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like
Mm-hmm.
the school meals were awful anyway. So I would just spend the lunch money on comics.
I did that a couple times too, where I was like, I'm just gonna like spend only half of it. So they had like dollar tater tots in high school. So I would, instead of buying like the full meal with my mom, the lunch money my mom gave me, I would just spend the dollar on the tater tots and just eat that. And then I would go and spend it at Walmart on the $5 DVD. Oh my God. Oh,
Those were
good
the
time.
days.
Yep. Yep. And you felt like on top of the world too, because it's like
Yeah,
you beat the system at that point. So funny.
I still do that now, though. I end up spending food money on comics.
I know, right?
So the
Like,
more things change, the more they stay the same.
gotta do what you gotta do. But yeah. Anyways, what is Glitter saying? Oh, Glitter collects raw too.
That's the way to go now. Like, especially if you're a run collector and you filling stuff in.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong. Like CGC is cool and all that, but the graded
Yeah,
stuff's awesome. But it's just like, depends what you want to do. Like, you want to go leaning more into the collectability side, or do you want to actually read and open them up at some point?
yeah.
Do either buy DVDs? I still do. Not a ton, but like if they're movies that I really enjoy that are classics, like I will still pick up a DVD. Um, I'll try to pick up the like best quality, but if it's I have something about, it's kind of like with comics and variants. Like sometimes if it's like a really good movie, I don't mind picking it up in different formats. So
Oh, like Blu-ray or Steelbook or
mhm,
something.
mhm. I'll just
Yeah,
have them on different.
I've seen so many awesome Steelbooks, but that's just a collecting like rabbit hole I haven't gone down yet.
Don't do it, Russ. I
Yeah.
started and I always have to, I am constantly having to restrain myself. I'm just like, all right. And it's worked. I've been good with it, but it's like, sheesh. Like I want these more and more. Like
Yeah.
I feel it's an addiction.
That's like I usually don't buy movies anymore until like Black Friday because they
I
put
do that
like
too.
DVDs on sale for like $3 and $4 and Blu-rays for like 5 and 6.
Best way to go. It's the
Yeah.
best way to go. Yeah, I wait around too, for the most part. Unless, like I said, it's like Halloween release or something, then I'll go for it like whenever I can. But um any other like movies that I've enjoyed, but they're not necessarily like my top 10 or whatever, I'll just wait. I'll just wait.
Yeah. Like
They always go down in price.
like 2 Black Fridays ago, I bought one of the Spider-Man movies. I think it was not this last one that came out, but the one before that, and I still haven't opened it.
Oh, snap.
It's
Yeah.
just sitting over there on my shelf. I need I need to watch that one
I
day.
get it. Like, there's so many other things to dedicate
It
your
was
time
like,
to too.
yeah, it was like
So, like,
$3 or something. And
nice.
I found a couple of these on a Black Friday sale. It's the hardcovers of Under the Red Hood and The Dark Knight,
Ooh.
and they came with the animated movies.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, these I have watched. Under the Red Hood was awesome,
I haven't seen it.
but these were like at Best Buy for like $4.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
really cool. Dude, my Best Buy doesn't even have like physical media section anymore.
Mine cut way down. It's like they used to have all the like box sets from TV shows. They had tons of
Yeah,
movies and Blu-rays. And I
yeah.
went in there about a month ago and it was mostly just TVs and cell phones and laptops. It's like
Mhm.
their DVDs and movies section just like shrunk down to nothing almost.
I had to ask because I was like, "Where the heck is it?" And I was seriously in denial.
Yeah.
I was like, "No way. It has to be here. I'm just missing it." So I asked, and they were like, "Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. We had to do away with that section." I was like, "Ah!" And then I went
That
to a
was like
different Best
yeah.
Buy, and it was the same deal. I'm like, "What?"
Like the movies and games were the only reason I would go in Best Buy. And now it's just like
Me
they're
too.
not there.
Right? Because like, I mean, think of like how often are you gonna, go in for like a TV or like a whatever else they have there that's
Yeah.
like usually bigger purchases that you don't do very often. So now there's no real reason for me to go in there besides
Yeah.
like maybe the collectibles, but you could get those anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
like mine doesn't even have the collectible section anymore. So it's like,
dang.
why is this store still here?
Right. Right. It's weird. It's so crazy how much like the online stores have just changed the
Yeah,
landscape of like the
definitely.
actual physical walk-ins.
Like the
That's
coolest place we have here now is a Books a Million. They have a
that's
coffee
cool.
shop in there that's really good called Joe Muggs, and they have a
Mm.
huge collectible section.
That's awesome. I've always wanted one of those stores um out here. Well, in Vegas where I was at, because Vegas didn't have any of those stores. Like I'm glad I now have finally a half price books because for
Yeah.
years I didn't have that. And same with FYE.
Oh yeah.
Never had that until more recently. Um, but Books a Million's another one that I'm just like, I don't have it
Yeah,
here, but
that's a great store. I
yeah.
think the same company owns Barnes and Noble. I think, but I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, okay. I'm
I
so
could be
happy
wrong on
Barnes is
that.
still alive. I was worried for Barnes and Noble for a hot second, but they seem to
Yeah.
be doing well. So
I could be completely wrong on that though, but I think I heard that one time that it was owned
I
by
mean
the same
it makes
people.
sense. Get a lot of DVDs at the thrift stores. Yeah, thrift stores are a good spot to get DVDs for
Yeah.
sure. And they're so cheap right now. It's like you can find them for like a dollar or two at the
Oh yeah, there's a
thrift shop.
Goodwill right up the road that has a ton of DVDs and stuff.
Yeah, it reminds me of have you guys seen Cobby's new
Oh
show?
yeah, yeah,
So cool. Goodwill Hunting, right?
yeah.
Shouts out to Page is it Pages, Panels, and Pixels? Or did I swap it?
It might be
Panels,
panels
pages,
first.
and Panels, Pages, and
It always
Pixels.
throws me off because
I
I'm like
know.
dyslexic, so I see a lot
So
of
am I. I'm
yeah,
dyslexic with like numbers. So a lot of times with like, you know how us comic collectors, we always go by like the number or whatever. Sometimes I
yeah.
can't remember it like that. And I just remember it like the comic cover.
Oh yeah. It's like the covers stick in my mind more than anything.
Mhm.
It's like if I see a book that I remember that I used to have, like I'll just at night a lot of times I'll just lay there and scroll through eBay and
Yeah.
and I'll see like a book that I remember I had and I'll check out the price. And if it's like $1, I'll grab it.
Nice. So
But yeah,
do
it's
you
funny that I remember like comics that I had from like 30 years ago.
do you typically do the majority of your back issue buying on eBay now, or do you have shops that you hit up still?
Um, well, there was a local shop that just sold old comics, but he ended up shutting down about a year ago.
Yeah.
And I think it's because they used to do dollar boxes there, and then they
Mm.
started eBay pricing everything, and then it
Oh,
wasn't long after that that he shut down because everybody stopped going there.
right. Of course.
Yeah.
That's lame.
So like most of the books like I end up finding on eBay or there's a couple people I buy from on Instagram sometimes that I've known for a while,
That's
but
cool.
most
Yeah.
most of them come from eBay. Like when I hit the HeroCon in June, Bonafide Comics, he had a ton of dollar boxes set up, and that was like a
Um,
dream, man. I filled in a
Bonafide.
bunch of I filled in a bunch of my Superman run there at his booth.
That's cool. He seems cool. Like he's one that I want to
Oh
meet
yeah, he's
because
a cool dude. It was
yeah.
like I was gonna go anyway to the con,
Uh-huh.
but I always buy the ticket the day of,
Uh-huh.
and he ended up hitting me up a day or two before, and with a free ticket. So
Oh,
that was awesome. So
that is really cool.
I spent like the majority of my budget there at his booth and bought some great stuff.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. Yeah, we see his like photos on Instagram and he's super friendly.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. It's so cool to see, like, especially on Instagram, you get to see like who the vendors are, who the like slab
Yeah,
collectors are, who the raw collectors are. We all have our little thing,
yeah.
our own separate little niche. It's cool.
But yeah, when I saw all those dollar boxes, I dug through them for a long time.
I
That's
bet.
like one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I sadly can't do too much of it anymore, but that is definitely my favorite too. I kind of miss it. But
Yeah,
I still will buy here and there. Like all this has just most of it's been like more recent purchases. Not all of it. I would say like half of it. And there's still a lot of room on it, but I have to like pace myself now. And it's like, oh, I used to like just freaking going,
yeah,
going hard. But it is what it is.
yeah.
Now I'm trying to preoccupy. Oh, sorry, what?
I've heard there's a lot of like great new indie books out, but that's just another like collecting like rabbit hole I haven't gone down with indie books. But I keep
Yeah,
hearing like there's so many great stories coming out of the indie books now.
that'd be cool too. That I would probably definitely try to read digital.
Yeah,
Um but yeah, I don't know. I definitely am still an addict, so there's one shop that I kind of like to support. I haven't really found too many shops out here that I feel like are my place yet. But I found a stream on Whatnot that I really gravitated to. I think I found them because they were doing a horror comic show. So I was like, "Oh, this is cool." But they do shows every week, and it's not just horror, like they do like the regular
that's
stuff
cool.
too, because they have a shop out in Syracuse in New York. So I was like, "Oh wow, this is awesome," because it kind of feels like that's a shop that I would definitely be frequent normally, like just
Yeah,
because they'll like show the whole shop, like they'll take us on a little tour sometimes. And I'm just like, oh, I wish that was like here where I am because I feel connected to the store now. And like, I don't know. It's just cool. So I haven't really found that here yet. I'm sure it'll come,
yeah,
um, but that store is where I'm buying for now. And just here and there, I'll just have a little, like I just bought some stuff from them today. Um, but it's just kind of an occasional thing. It's not like a consistent, like every week type of thing. But I do like showing them some love sometimes. And they're so friendly. I think on Whatnot they're called crispy comics and collectibles, I want to say. But yeah, you guys should hit them up if you can because they're just awesome.
I'll have to check that out. I haven't really checked out anything on Whatnot yet.
Yeah, I'm pretty new to buying on there. I think it's probably just kind of like eBay. It's more geared for buyers, it seems like. It
Yeah.
seems pretty smooth. It's very smooth because you just give your information first. So whenever you bid on something and you win, like you don't have to go through the whole ordeal of contacting them and giving them your info and doing all that. Kind of just automatically does it, which is nice. But because I was like considering like, oh, maybe I should sell on there too. But it seems kind of, I don't know about the setup for selling because I think I would get frustrated with just like the phone screen and having to
Oh
read
yeah.
everything on the phone and like, I don't know. I might just do another auction on my own channel instead. We'll see.
I wonder do they is it like eBay where they do like fees and stuff to sell on there? Like they take
Yeah,
a small percentage?
they do. I don't remember what it is because it's been a while since I looked at it, but I know it was definitely the fees were definitely lower than eBay. eBay is like the highest of the highs.
Yeah, I heard eBay got pretty crazy.
It really did. It really did. Um, yeah, I don't really even do too much buying on eBay anymore, but like I have been selling and they take a chunk, but it's still to me it's still worth it just because there's way more eyes on it than like anywhere else you're gonna post.
Yeah, yeah, it's
So
probably the biggest thing next to Amazon.
right. And so to me that is worth it. But I don't know. It does suck that they take so much out of it. But yeah, I definitely have to try an auction again though. I don't know how well it'll do since I
I
don't know, I
know
came back.
I don't know if they still do it as much anymore, but there used to be a lot of like live YouTube
I
auctions, but
remember. I
I
remember.
hardly ever like see one of those anymore.
I don't see them as often. That's why I'm like, I don't know. It could be also because the market, it's not a seller's market anymore.
Yeah,
So maybe they're just like, I'll just go to eBay to sell instead.
yeah. I've noticed that over the last couple of months that a lot of books have started to come back down. It's like
Yeah, thankfully.
I've actually been able to afford some again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
loving that as a buyer, but I can
It's a
imagine for the
buyer's.
sellers it's frustrating. Yeah,
It's definitely a buyer's market right now, which is
yeah,
great. That's why I've been buying. I've been like pulling the trigger. Like I pulled the trigger on this one, like things like
yeah.
that. Yeah, you should buy those right now because
Oh
it's
yeah,
they're
I've been finding deals on books that a year ago was 150, $200, and like
Mhm.
this most recent book here I got last week, 132 in the Dark Phoenix run. I got it for like $51 and an 8.5.
Yeah,
And I
that's
think
really
yeah, this time a year ago it probably would have costed me 150.
yeah.
So
Yep.
it's definitely a great
Yeah.
time to buy.
You have to take advantage, definitely. Um, that's why I'm. That's another reason I'm selling. I'm focusing on selling figures right now because I
Yeah,
know with comics it's definitely buyers market. So I'm like, I don't want to let those go yet. So I'm trying to sell figures that I know I'll just come out even right now. So that's fine for me. I just got to get rid of
yeah,
them for space issues. But yeah,
yeah. I remember you had quite a few NECA figures. I remember seeing them in like
yeah.
Michael Myers.
I still
I
have
think you
all
had
of
one
that.
from Trick or Treat. Yeah, those were cool, man. NECA makes
Oh,
some great stuff.
I got something else I could show you guys. It'll be
Okay,
an exclusive. You saw it here first, kind of thing.
awesome.
I picked this up the other day.
Oh, dang, that's awesome.
Dude, and he has the little like pull string for the voice. Let me see if it'll make kind of running out of battery, but
Is that a NECA?
Did you hear it?
Yeah. I think, what do you say, Elm Street?
Hold on.
Welcome to Elm Street.
That's
Said,
awesome.
Welcome to Elm Street. Yeah,
That's so cool.
This is I don't think it's Matchbox.
Okay.
Heck, that's crazy. I didn't even know. Yeah,
That's cool.
I've been eyeing that for years, and I just never pulled the trigger. But yep, right now's a good time to buy stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah. So I probably shouldn't have bought it for space purposes, but it was a good deal. So I was like, I have to.
It's hard to pass up on deals. Definitely.
Right. But yeah.
Like I always meant to buy more NECA figures, but the only two I've ever gotten was like the Goliath from Gargoyles and the Jason Voorhees. But
Nice.
it's just a line that I've always meant to buy more of.
They can get pricey too. It's like
Yeah, they're I think in store they're closer to $40 now, and when they started doing them, they were
I had to
like
stop.
27 and 30. Yeah.
Yep, because it's like that increase and then the move and the space, and it's like, all right, I have a good amount. I'm like pretty content with what I have. And even then I could probably sell a couple and I'll probably keep my favorites, but yeah, it's stuff's getting way too pricey.
I was last time I was at Books A Million. You know the McFarlane DC Multiverse figures?
Mm-hmm.
They've got a Batman and Spawn 2-pack.
Oh no!
And I remember like a year ago, I bought the Superman and Devastator 2-pack, and it was $40. And now those same 2-packs are $57. I'm like, what happened to 40? So I had to leave it on the shelf and walk away.
And that's why I'm saying like it's better for me right now to sell figures because the figure market, I feel like it's still, I could still either come out even or get some profit.
Yeah, I think so, definitely.
Right now, I'm keeping the comics for now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, figures right now are pretty hot.
Yeah. It's weird. I remember I always, like the general rule of thumb for me has always been to buy cheap. So like I remember when I had to move out here, I sold like a whole wave of like Marvel Legends.
Oh yeah.
Like the Spider-Man one, a couple of Spider-Man ones, and I had no idea that they were like they had appreciated in value. I was just trying to get rid of stuff. Like I said, if I come out even, I'm good. And so I remember looking it up just to get a general idea of what I was going to list it at. And I was like shocked because like one was going for like $60, $70. And I had a whole wave and I was like, oh, I bought all these for dirt cheap. And now it's like, so yeah, I did super well with the Marvel Legends. Who knows how much they are now? I can't even imagine.
Oh yeah, I remember like there was a couple that I missed out on getting back when they first came out. Like there was a Cyclops from the X-Men line, and then they did a 3-pack with Wolverine. Yeah, they did a 3-pack with Wolverine, Jean Grey, and Cyclops from the animated series look.
I think I remember that. Yeah.
That I think it was like $70 or $80 retail, and I missed it in store, so I went to look it up on eBay, and it was like people were selling it for $300 and $400. I was like, oh my god, dude! Check that off the list. I'm not getting that one.
Yeah,
and that was like, geez, maybe 2 years ago now.
Yeah, can't even imagine.
Some of those figures definitely go wild in value.
For sure. Oof. Do you are you still collecting like other figures besides NECA or
Yeah. I recently bought the. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. The Dark Knight trilogy McFarlane figures came out with a pack that had Bane as a Build-A-Figure from the movies.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Those were the newest figures.
Those are cool.
Sorry if anybody's got motion sickness.
Do they come with the stands?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh wow, that's awesome.
yeah. And the Joker came with a stand that was a stack of money. So that was
That's
pretty
so
cool.
cool.
Yeah. But that was the most recent set that I bought. As again, I found them at Books A Million, and I found the whole set, and it had Bane as the Builder-Figure. So I just went ahead and bought it straight up, which
Heck
is
yeah.
good because that set's like sold out now. You can't find them anymore.
Yeah, that was a good call.
So I figured if I didn't jump on it then, I would miss out on it.
And that happens sometimes too. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy. Just as a collector, you kind of have to gauge it. Like sometimes it's better to wait, and other times, depending on what it is, like you just have to snap call it and go for it.
Yeah. There's been a couple times where waiting is paid off, and you find it like on super discount later. But there's been other times where it's like
It's gone
going through the
forever.
roof for some reason. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you just have to. I think that's when, like, you know, once you've been collecting like for a while, you kind of just have that instinct, and you kind of know what's what, and you just kind of
Yeah.
do it. I mean, occasionally, yeah, I still miss out or whatever, but yeah, it's just
It's
a
like
feeling.
what bugs me the most with like new figure collecting is when they do like store exclusives,
Mm,
and it's like a lot of the new McFarlane figures are Target store exclusive, and my local Target is terrible at having anything in stock when it comes to figures. So
oh
it's like I
yeah,
always miss out on those when it's Target exclusive.
it's funny because these days I see like they will always have the NECAs now, which is cool. But like back when I was looking for NECAs, they were nowhere to be
Yeah,
found, and
never
like they
seen
would
them. Yeah,
barely restock. And like now it's just they're always stocked with NECA. But yeah, some of the other figures you could tell like they don't really keep up with the stock that much.
yeah.
It looks bare.
I love
It's
like
crazy.
even Walmart is carrying NECA figures now.
I know.
It's like they have like the original like horror movie like Frankenstein, Bela Lugosi, Dracula, stuff like that. Those I've been real tempted to pick up a couple of those.
I know. I've seen those too, and I've had to also restrain because of, like I
Yeah,
said, space situation and stuff. I want them for sure, but
yeah,
it's like,
definitely.
yeah. So I just kind of look the other way. And sometimes I'll just go for a cheap pop instead, you know.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah, guys.
it's very,
It's been a while since I bought a Funko Pop. I think the
yeah.
last one was the Action Comics one comic cover pop.
Oh, nice. Nice. I haven't bought any of those yet.
Oh, those are cool. They are space takers though, because it's like so much. The box is like this
I was
big and the pop
thinking,
is this tall. But
because I've been eyeing some of like the movie ones, and I'm just like, oh, it's so
yeah,
cool. But then it's like, yeah, it's tall. So,
it's crazy. Like I saw they had a Jurassic Park one,
mhm.
and it was like extra large. But the dinosaur that's in it is like this big. But the movie poster behind it is like ridiculous, and it's in this gigantic case. But the pop is
That's
like a
so
regular
weird.
size pop
What
almost.
the heck?
It takes up like a whole shelf by itself.
Yeah. They need to rethink those, I think, a little more.
Yeah.
Have you seen the like vinyl record ones that are
Oh yeah,
huge?
those are cool.
Things are huge. And I'm like,
Yeah.
where would you put it though?
I know my older brother, he's a huge metalhead, and they came out with a Metallica set.
That's
It
cool.
was a Walmart exclusive, and I tried to get that for him so many times, and it was just never there.
Uh, yeah, leave it to Walmart. Walmart's always
Yeah,
terrible. They're worse than Target.
yeah, a lot of times, definitely.
Yeah, my local Walmart is awful here. And actually, the Vegas ones were better, surprisingly, and those were kind of a joke too. But yeah, this one's even worse.
Yeah, I remember like years ago when I was like real into Funko and I was buying them all the time. It's like they had the cheapest Funko figures for like $7 and change, but they
Mhm.
would have the same sets there all the time.
All the time.
It's like
Yep.
they never got the newer stuff in. It'd be like 6 months to a year later before they got stuff.
Yeah, and it's crazy because you would think like, okay, just put them on clearance and, move
Yeah,
them so that you can stock the newer stuff. And they just like don't care and they just leave the old
yeah.
stuff there like forever until it sells,
Yeah,
which
forever they had the same like Rogue One Star Wars Funko Pops, all those
uh
shelf warmers for
yeah,
years.
yeah. I definitely remember the Rogue One
Yeah.
pops. There's too many Star Wars pops and
Oh, I
Batman
know
pops.
that those two lines alone have hundreds of different variations.
Yeah. It sucks because, like, when I first started, it was nice kinda collecting different ones, but, like, then it just got to the point where I was like,
Yeah, you got like
"Yeah, they need to stop
20,
because
20 of
this
the
is."
same character.
Yeah, and they're just like now it's like little minor differences, like their
Yeah.
hands are in a different spot or whatever, and I'm like, "Okay, you guys are being lazy with it now."
Oh yeah, for
It's
real.
cool when it's completely different and,
It'll be the same mold with like three different paint variations or something.
yeah. I do like the so yeah, I'm still into the horror ones, but I'm pretty slow at it. I'm not trying to like collect them all at once or whatever. And I'll occasionally pick up the horror blacklight ones. I think those are
Yeah.
cool. But other than that, I still have my some of my collection. I sold off a lot of pops too. Um and
Oh,
yeah, those
somewhere around here I have a Jack Torrance from The Shining, but I think it might be put up right now.
oh cool. Yeah. Yeah, I'll pick them up if I bump into them, but yeah, I'm not like avidly searching them or anything like that. Because then it
Yeah.
gets out of hand, and you're just like, okay, this is taking up too much room.
Yeah. I know when I decided to focus more on comics and stop getting Funko so much, I had because I was just buying everything.
I mean,
So
early
yeah,
on, that's kind of it was a very like collect them all type of
yeah,
hobby. But then, like I said, as they kept going with them, it's like you kind of caught on to what they were doing. Like, oh, you're just making these like insignificant changes to the pops and then calling them a different variant or a different exclusive.
yeah,
And then they started
yeah.
coming out with the deluxe and the movie
Oh yeah, the
moments.
pop
Yeah.
rides and all those
I'm
things.
just
Yeah.
like,
I know last Christmas I was in Walmart and they had a huge like Home Alone pop moment where they had like
mhm.
Kevin McAllister at the top of the stairs and Marvin Harry at the bottom where he was like throwing the paint can.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
but
is
it
funny.
was like it was the size of a flat
Too big,
screen
right?
TV.
Yeah,
Like where would I even put that?
right? That's the thing. It's like you have to
Yeah,
think about the collector too. Like it's as cool as it is, like where are we going to put that?
it's like you had to like build a shelf or something just for because
Yeah,
it was like the size of a 40-inch TV.
I had the it was a Poe Dameron helmet from like the Black Series, and I I got it for like a white elephant. That's what it's called, right? White elephant for the Christmas thing, the Christmas exchange or whatever.
Oh yeah,
And I ended up getting that, And I was super stoked on it. I'm like, oh, this is so cool. I love it. And like, I'd never expected to get that. So it was awesome. And I had it at work, and it was on my cubicle, and when I moved though, I was like, I don't know where I'm going to put this. Like literally don't know where, because they're big. It's like
Yeah.
I have, and I ended up giving it to my coworker as like a, remember me with this. And yeah, he was like super grateful, and he was like, he had a perfect spot for it too. And if I felt good about it.
That's awesome.
But yeah, but it's one of those things where it's like, I just know I don't have room for that where I'm going.
Yeah.
So
There's so many like awesome props like that with helmets, and like I've got the Mjolnir and Captain America shield over in the corner,
nice.
and there's
Yeah,
like
and they're
so many
cool,
different props that I would love to get, but again, it's like a space issue.
right? I
Like
feel the same
they
way.
just came out with Magneto's helmet as a full size prop, but it's like I don't like where would I even put that?
Like it's amazing. And if you have it, cool. But like,
Yeah.
where do you do it? Where do you put it? You
Yeah.
have to
When you get
create
into
room.
the bigger stuff like that, it's definitely hard finding a space for it. Like
Yeah. And that's
I've got Captain America's shield just propped up on an old guitar stand in the
no,
corner
yeah.
because I couldn't figure out how to like put it on the
Where to
wall.
just
So I bought like a cheap guitar stand for like $10, and I put it on that.
yeah, do what you gotta do, Um, I have the gauntlets, the infinity from the
Oh,
movies.
nice.
They're cool. I love them, but it's like, again, they're in my storage. I can't bring them here. Like, what am I? I'm just gonna have to sell them, sadly. But it's like, what am
Yeah.
I gonna do with them? Um, I don't know if I'm gonna sell them. We'll see. We'll see. If I could find
That
some
stuff would
room.
be good for like a con or something.
Yeah, like I'm sure I could find room. It's just they're huge. They're
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, I know the gauntlet is massive. I've seen it in store, but I never picked one
Dude.
up.
Yeah, they're massive. And then yeah, all the props, it's like, oh God. Even the posters, it's the same
Yeah.
situation where it's like, okay, now I need room. I need to
Oh
know where
yeah.
I'm gonna put these up. Like I need wall space. And it's like now I think the thing to do if you have a smaller place is just switch things out occasionally, you know?
Yeah.
So like I'm not always gonna have this here. So I could, if there's other posters I want to put up, I'll put them up, but I don't have to have them all up at once.
Yeah. I've got a whole like folder full of posters down here that I just got nowhere to put them,
Yeah. Yeah.
but they're here.
They're here. Yep. Yep. Oh, it's Magic Lasso.
Yo, what's up, Magic Lasso? He's actually the guest on the next episode.
Oh, cool. Definitely tune into that. And then Sean Franklin said, do you listen to NSYNC and Backstreet Boys?
I missed that one. No, I don't.
I don't really now, but I used to. I definitely used to. They were my go-tos back in the
Yeah,
day.
I remember hearing Backstreet's Back on the radio a lot back in the '90s.
Oh, heck yeah. Heck yeah. I was
Or
more
God,
of a
it might have
Backstreet
been. Was it
Boys
'90s or
person.
early 2000s? I don't even remember.
Probably late 90s. But yeah, I was way more of a Backstreet Boys girl than NSYNC. But I liked both of them.
Yeah. At the time, I was more into to rock and metal,
Hmm.
but like mostly like my musical taste now is I just mostly listen to everything from like the '90s. Like
Yeah.
I'm still about the '80s and '90s music. I don't know what it is about that era, but like comics, figures, music, movies. I'm all
Yeah,
about the '80s and '90s.
for sure. I mean, I don't blame you.
Like I'm probably the only dude still listening to like Good Charlotte and Nickelback.
I have nothing against that. You know, I'm a bit of an elder emo myself.
Yeah, I love Evanescence.
Oh, heck yeah. Evanescence. I went to have you heard of When We Were Young? The music festival that was in Vegas
I
last
don't
year.
think so.
It's full of
I've never gotten the opportunity to go to a concert or an actual music show before. So that's
oh
another thing
man.
that's on my bucket list to do one day.
Yeah, you should definitely do that. Yeah, I got to see a lot of emo acts. I saw AFI for the first time there. I got to see The Used
Oh, yeah.
and Paramore,
Oh
and
wow,
yeah, it was awesome. And I saw them all in one day, like just back to back, back
that's
to back.
awesome.
It was incredible. It was incredible.
But yeah, I'm pretty much just stuck in that time frame for everything.
Yeah, me too, honestly. The only thing I've been a little more open to is like some of the current R&B, but like I like Khaled and SZA, um, and her, but everything else I'm not very into.
I'm gonna have to check some of that out because like some of that stuff I'm so behind I've never heard of. Like newer
Yeah,
artists, I'm so
I'm the
lost. I'm like,
same way. There's just certain songs I like, but for the most part, I'm mostly living in the past.
yeah. Diana Ross played about 90 minutes for the
Ooh,
job.
that's cool.
Have you seen the new Aquaman trailer? I haven't. What about you?
No, I haven't.
I didn't know they had a new trailer out. Might have to
That's
look that
cool.
up.
That is cool. I would say put it up, but it's WB and they'll flag you.
Oh yeah. Uh, I'm streaming on my phone anyway. I don't even know if I can open another tab.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing everything, streaming, editing, all that from the phone.
This whole time?
Yeah, well, I used to stream on my laptop, but it died about 3 months ago.
Oh,
So now I
shit.
just started streaming from the phone too. But yeah, I've always edited and uploaded from the phone.
The phones are honestly pretty robust these days. I mean,
Yeah,
the video quality is superb.
yeah.
So
Well, my phone is a LG Silo 5. It's about 3 or 4 years old,
I
and
love
it's still
LG.
yeah,
LG, I used to always choose LG
yeah,
over everything. And then recently, I have the family plan with my mom. And like, she's like, we're going to upgrade our phones. And I'm like, I still have my old one. And I was chilling with it. And I
yeah,
had an LG. And I was like, do I have to? And she's like, yeah, you have to for the deal or whatever. So I was like, okay. So I did it. And they didn't have any LGs. They only had Samsung at the time. So I was like, all right, I guess I'll just take a Samsung. Samsung is
yeah,
still great though. Like the video quality is really good on it.
yeah.
But
But like I'm so used to this LG, like when if it ever breaks, I don't know what I'm gonna do because I hate learning new devices.
I'll say the Samsung wasn't a huge change from the LG because they're both Android phones.
Yeah,
So it was a pretty smooth transition. There's a couple little things that are different, but for the most part, I think you'll be okay if you go Samsung.
yeah. Hopefully this one lasts longer. 'Cause, I mean, as to be as old as it is now, the battery life still lasts a long time,
That's
and it doesn't
good.
overheat when I'm like I do all my editing on it, and it doesn't heat up. So I got pretty
Yeah,
lucky with it because it was only like a $50 phone. It was on sale for half off when I got it.
nice. Yeah, I love LGs. I love
Yeah.
LGs.
Like I wouldn't even know where to start with an iPhone if I ever made that kind of switch.
Same. I tried a couple times my sister, because my sister has one, and she'll be like, "Oh, here," like maybe she wants me to navigate while she's driving or whatever. She's like, "Here, put the address on." I'm like, "How do you do Siri?
Yeah.
Siri? What?
Yeah.
Help me." And it's funny because one time she told me to do that, and I was like, oh God," because I was like fumbling all over the place. And then Siri recorded me somehow going, "Oh my God, what?" And so I gave it to my sister. I was like, "I don't know what's happening." And I didn't know it recorded me. And then when she got a hold of it later, she's like dying. She's laughing. I was like, "What?" I was like, "Why are you laughing?" She's like, "Oh my gosh, for whatever reason, Siri recorded you like freaking out when you're fumbling with the phone. So I look like an idiot just going, it was so crazy."
Yeah. For me, like I don't know if you ever saw Zoolander,
Yeah.
the scene where they were like trying to figure out the computer and get the files out
Oh
of the
yeah.
computer.
Yeah. He
And
thinks
they like just broke the
yeah.
computer and like there's no files in here. That would be
Right.
me with an iPhone.
100%. That's how I am. Like, I don't know how they do it, but I don't know. Android seems so intuitive to me. It's
Yeah.
like very straightforward. So, and then when they handle my phone, they're like, "Ugh, how do you do it?" I'm like, "What the
It's like
heck?
this is easy.
You
Like,
see the
yeah.
home icon? That's where the home is. Like,
Yeah.
it's not
The
that hard."
close all button. I love
Yeah,
that.
thank you. No,
And
it's like,
like when I had the laptop, I couldn't figure out like I wasn't good at editing on that
mhm,
because I couldn't find a program that was like easy for me to use. And on the
mhm.
phone, I found Power Director,
Oh
and that
yeah,
was
yeah,
like
yeah.
the easiest and like program for me to learn because I'm like real slow when it comes to technology. And
Mhm.
that was like so easy for me to learn. So I've always just used the Power Director on the phone.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, no, these days you can run the whole YouTube channel with just your phone.
Yeah. Like if you put like a fancy editing program in front of me, it would take me ages to figure it out.
I bet you not. If you like, if I were to guide you on like it's not that bad. Like if
Really?
you have somebody that like will show you like this is how you do this, this is how you do that.
Yeah.
Because it's
Well,
very if you're
I've always been more of a visual learner. If like somebody
yeah,
shows me how to do it, it's like, but if I
exactly.
just have instructions in front of me where I'm trying to like read it and do it, like
Uh,
when I put together my entertainment center, for the whole first hour, I just stared at the instructions. And then it took me like 6 hours to put it together.
dude,
And
they
then
don't
when I
even
got
like
done on the box, it said build time 45 minutes.
oh my god.
It's like it took me 6 hours.
I don't know if this happened with you, but like the stuff that I've been building here, the directions they don't even have words on them anymore. It's literally just like the pictures of like little
Oh
doodles
yeah,
of
all the little brackets and stuff.
yeah, that's it.
I'm
It
so lost.
doesn't even tell
Yeah,
you like how to put it together. It just it tries to show you with like lines. Like
yeah. But I would definitely like if like on one of the like expensive editor programs, I would definitely have to have somebody there like showing me the steps before I could like really get it down.
yeah, well, if you ever do, let me know and I'll show you how to do it.
All right. I had to like have you like on the phone while I'm on the laptop trying to work.
uh, sweetest hanger. Don't need. They're over here singing in the chat. It's like karaoke.
Super Bus After Dark, the karaoke stream.
Right.
Need to like push a button and have a disco ball come down.
Oh my gosh.
Open bar over here.
That'd be awesome. Mm-mm-mm.
IKEA builds are time consuming.
Dude, yeah. Like you said, the estimated time or whatever, it's never accurate.
Oh
That's
no, yeah. When I
never,
saw that and it said 45 minutes, I was just
no,
like,
not even, not even.
even when I put the my desk chair together, I put
Oh,
on
that
one of
always,
the brackets upside down accidentally. So I had to
um,
take, and it was in a spot where I had to like take half the chair back apart to fix it.
I recently
Uh,
built like shelves for my physical media, and it's a small one. It's not huge or anything by any means. And I it took me a while, first of all, because again, no direction. It was
yeah,
just little diagram of it, and that was it. And then uh yeah, like I was like, okay, this is going well. And then I stand it up and there's like a gap in the bottom shelf. And I'm just like, oh, why is there this gap here? And I'll never know why. I'll just never know
yeah.
why because it just something didn't come together properly, I guess. Like one of the little pegs is like not in quite right. And so now it's just this gap that bugs the shit out of me all the time.
I don't, on my black shelf over there, the taller black shelf that I put together,
Mhm.
there's a little like thing on the bottom that covers up the like gap from the floor, and I put it
Mhm.
on upside down, so like the wood part showing instead of the black paint
Yeah.
part from the shelf.
I did that with my last shelves in Vegas too. Same thing. I was like, you know what? No one's gonna come in here. I don't
Yeah,
care.
nobody
Whatever.
see it's like way down on the floor. Nobody's gonna see that.
It is what it is.
There you go, Magic Lessa.
Woo-wee. That's awesome.
I know he's a big fan of Dazzler.
Nice. Very nice. Sit down.
That's funny. That was like going back to comics, like talking spec and stuff.
Mhm.
There was I bought that comic for this Dark Phoenix saga set, and like a day after I bought it, there was some kind of spec that Taylor Swift was going to be Dazzler in Deadpool 3,
Oh, I
and
did
then the
hear
book
about that.
started going up in price, so I got it like just in time to
Mm,
be able to add it to my collection.
that's great. That's great. I think I have it, but in a low, low grade.
Yeah, my that's mine's a 7.0.
I think mine's like a reader
Yeah.
from like, yeah. But that's cool. Is she really gonna be Dazzler?
I don't know if it's true or not because I haven't heard like anything else about it. So I don't know if it was just a rumor that.
I hope so. That'd be cool because like, yeah, it makes sense because then the whole writer strike thing happened. So maybe
Yeah,
that's why we haven't heard any
that
updates.
could be why nothing else has been said.
And I'm not a huge Swiftie by any means either, but it's cool. It's cool that
Yeah,
if she gets into it, it'll put more eyes on the
I
superhero
don't
genre.
know if I've ever heard an entire Taylor Swift song from back to front.
I'm not a big fan. I've seen her live though, not now
Really?
because now she's like it's ridiculous to get tickets for her. But like back in the day, she did one of those like jingle ball things where there's like various artists,
Oh,
and I had gone for like One Republic, I think, and so and a couple others, and she had just happened to be on that, and I got to see her, and I remember thinking she was like really mechanical in like her movements and stuff. Like her choreography seemed a little, I don't know, just
hmm.
didn't seem like she was putting her all into it. But I don't know. She's fine though. Like I don't like hate her either. I think she's cool.
Yeah. That's just I don't know. It's just not my style of music. I don't think.
Yeah, same. I like Trouble. That's probably like the only song I like.
Oh, is that the one where they did all the memes with like the screaming goat?
I have no idea.
I think, like the part where she like screams in the video, they did a bunch of memes where they like replaced that with a screaming goat, and that
I
took off
have
for a
no
while.
clue. I'm telling you, I don't really follow her, so I don't know.
I remember seeing that meme everywhere, and I think it was that song.
That's funny.
So Lasso says Ryan. I guess Ryan Reynolds was in one of Taylor Swift's videos, so maybe that's why she's going to cameo in Deadpool 3.
Oh, is it just a cameo? That'd be cool if she like.
That's what I've heard. I mean, that's what the rumor was. It was going to be a cameo spot because it's supposed to be like a he's going to be jumping back and forth through time or something.
Gotcha. Glitter, let it go, let it go.
Was that Taylor Swift?
No.
Okay.
She's just singing. She's just singing right now.
Oh.
I don't hate it.
Rock on.
Da, da. Mm.
Bust out some karaoke.
Yeah, I love karaoke actually.
I've never like been to a karaoke bar or anything. Like the only time I've ever done like I guess karaoke is that one night I got drunk on Instagram and did that Instagram live where I was singing.
Hold on. Don't tell me yet. I'm gonna get a drink real quick and then you're gonna tell me the story.
Okay.
I brought popcorn.
Yeah, that was that was an interesting night.
Glitter, same reaction. What?
I've never been.
I got my Pepsi Zero here. I'm ready for the story right now.
I've never been a drinker. Like, so this was, I want to say this was 2018 when this happened. I'm pretty sure. And I had never drank before that, really. I tried like a beer once or twice in my life.
Was it because you didn't like being drunk or you didn't like the
No, I just never, like I tried beer, I think when I was like 15 or 16, and I never tried it again after that.
Mm-hmm.
So this was 2018. So I would have been 28 in 2018. No? God, how old was I in 2018? Why can't I remember my age?
You're a little older than me, right?
Yeah, I was born in 1980. So I'm 43 now. So I was 38, 2018. Okay. So it was the first time 38 years old, first time I'd ever gotten drunk. And I drank 6 Mike's Hard Lemonades and a little bottle of Fireball. And I was wasted.
Dude, like, you had a gnarly hangover, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh my God. I thought I was going to die the next day. It was crazy because I did it because I got my heart broke. So I was 38 years old, first time I ever got drunk. And I went on, God, I barely remember it, but I went on Instagram and I just started singing. Like I had music on in the background. It just started like I was singing like Nickelback, Kryptonite by Three Doors Down, and just several different, like just blasted it out at the top of my lungs, drunk as could be.
Oh my God.
And thank God the Instagram lives don't save; they just disappear.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a while. Like I woke up the next day and my glasses were broken somehow, and I had on a Spider-Man ski mask.
Oh my God.
And I was at my nieces and nephew's house. That's where I just got wasted.
Oh my God.
And
So
I
funny.
woke up and I felt like I was dead.
Oh yeah.
I got so sick and like was throwing up.
It was
The
all the
worst.
it's
And
always
it was a little tiny bottle of Fireball and 6 Mike's Hard Lemonades.
because even Fireball is like sugary too. That's what
Yeah.
really gives you the hangover.
But
The sugar.
I thought for sure I was going to die, so I said never again. This is
Oh
not
my
worth it.
God. I'm so sorry that was your first drunken
But
experience.
that was a wild night singing because that was the first
Did
time I'd
anybody
ever.
like give you crap about it the next day? Like, did
Oh
they
no,
see?
no! Everybody thought it was hilarious
Oh, so
because I
a lot
think
of
the
people did
lives,
see it.
yeah, the lives stay up. I think for like a few hours or whatever before they
Mhm.
go away, or that's how
Okay,
it
so
was
people were
anyway.
seeing it.
Yeah,
That's so funny.
but that was like the first and last time. It's like this ain't worth it because I thought for sure I was gonna die. I was like, Lord, I don't want to go like this.
Oh, wow. I love it. That's a great story.
But that was the first time I'd ever sang in, I guess, a public forum.
Okay.
I know my
Yeah.
niece
So,
told me the next day, she was like, "Man, you got a scary singing voice. Don't do that again." So I can't carry a tune for nothing. Like even
mm,
sober, I can't carry a tune.
so I like going to karaoke, but I prefer going to, they're like Asian ones. They're like Korean karaoke bars. I don't think I've been to one out here so far. It's pretty cool. But at the Korean ones, it's cool because they have like little private rooms. So you can go with your,
Oh yeah,
your group of friends. And then so it's a lot more just like you're partying with them, and that's it. And then
that's
so
cool.
you just pass around the mic and like you're just more comfortable, you're not in
Yeah,
front of like random strangers singing your heart out.
yeah. I
So,
feel like I would be the guy that people throw tomatoes at if I tried to do karaoke.
but that's the fun part about karaoke. It's like everyone sucks, unless you're
Yeah,
like a freaking pro or whatever. And that's what makes it fun. But yeah, I have done like the actual like open mic like karaoke bars, and those are always way scarier for me because like we talked about
I
it
feel
earlier.
like that. I feel like that takes a lot of bravery.
Well, it takes a lot of alcohol.
Yeah.
and and yeah, it's like, but the trick is, so like at the karaoke, the Korean barbecue, the Korean karaoke places, a lot of times they'll have like food and they'll sell soju, which is the Korean like alcohol. It's kind of like a mix. It's like I think it's kind of like a wine. It's like a rice wine, I think is what it is. I'm not sure, but it comes in like really good flavors. Anyways, that's really sugary too, so that's really dangerous to drink a lot of it as well. But like, it's always a blast at the karaoke ones. And then the regular bars, though, it's like I'll have to have at least a few shots of tequila before I go up because there's no way that I can just
Yeah.
sing like that, like sober in front of strangers. No way.
I feel like if I ever tried anything like really hard, I would take like one shot and just be on the floor falling off.
Well,
Because I
I
feel
think
like I'm such a lightweight.
I don't think so because you had 6 hard and then you had the shot. And
Yeah.
your stature is bigger. So it's like you could probably have
But
have
I'm
at
pretty
least
sure
3
the
tequila shots.
lemonades was only like 6% alcohol.
I know, but that's still
Yeah.
like it's still a lot to have all at once. Glitter. I like watching other people do karaoke.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I would be the guy that takes one shot and wakes up with my eyebrows shaved.
I don't think so. I think you could handle more than one shot. Because imagine if you just had the Fireball without all the other lemonades that
Yeah.
night. It probably wouldn't have ended that way.
Probably wouldn't have been as bad.
Probably just get a buzz and that's it.
Yeah. Maybe one of these days, on a stream with Simon or something on Simply Super Stream, maybe we'll do something like that.
You better invite me.
We'll definitely let you know if I could organize something like that.
Oh my god, yeah, that would be hilarious.
A Simply Super drink off.
It's all about pacing too, you know? It's like you shouldn't like down them all quick. It's just, you know, kind of gauge how you feel, kind of chill out while you're having a little drink.
Yeah. I know, like, NyQuil has like just a tiny amount of alcohol. And when I take a cap full of that, I sleep for 18 hours. So I don't know what tequila would do.
Yeah. I used to, this is bad, but I used to take, I don't even think they sell it anymore, probably because of this purpose too, but there was a Tylenol cold syrup that was blue. And I haven't seen it in stores for ages, but I used to get it, but, you know, just to have in case I did get a cold. But
Yeah.
that stuff would knock me out so hard that like some days when I couldn't sleep, I would just take a little bit and then I would just
Oh, yeah.
knock out. But I'm guessing that like that was probably bad for you because they don't sell that anymore.
Because I don't think I've ever seen that one. So it might not have been on the market very long.
Well, I used to get it all the time, but then I don't know. The last few years, every time I look for it, I don't see it. So, but yeah, that one always knocked me out hard.
I know a lot of like I'll deal with insomnia a lot of times. And when I get like really desperate for sleep, I'll just take like 2 Benadryl. And for some reason,
that works too.
Puts me to sleep.
Yep. Those knock me out hard too. I haven't tried it in a long time, but the last time I had to take some, it was like, wow. I woke up all groggy after like hours and hours of sleep.
I don't know what's in Benadryl, but it just out like a light.
It's like part of the reason why you feel better because you're knocked out.
Yeah.
It's funny that I still have my movie theater popcorn from the other day. Still good.
Yes, gosh. I haven't had popcorn I don't know how long. I know back in the day I used to love Crunch and Munch.
Oh my god.
That's how you know you're getting older, Jackson. Instead of a joint, you pass the Metamucil.
Oh man. I saw The Nun too.
How was that? Was that pretty wild?
It's
Like
better than the
scare
first
factor?
one. It's better than the first one for sure. It's a lot of jump scares. It's fun. It's fun, but it's like nothing to write home about, I don't think.
Really?
But it's entertaining.
That's I haven't seen either one of the Nun movies. I'm trying to remember the last like paranormal movie I saw, and I think I want to say it's Insidious 2 or 3. So it's been a while.
I like the Insidious movies. The
Yeah.
last one though wasn't great.
Oh, really? Yeah, I remember you talking about that on one of your streams, saying it wasn't as good.
Yeah, kind of a bummer, but Because I think that was like the last one with that family, the family that they were following in that series.
I remember
So,
seeing one I think it was called Haunting in Connecticut.
oh, I remember that one.
It was
That one
like
was
a haunted house
scary.
type of story. Yeah,
That one was
it's been a
scary. I
while, but
remember being
yeah.
freaked out after that one too. I feel
I
like that
think
one's kind of underrated. I want to go back and
yeah,
rewatch it.
it's been a while since I saw it, but I think he found like I remember he was like in the basement or something. He found like a little tin box and it had like people's eyelids in it.
Yeah, that one
If
was
that's
gnarly.
the movie I'm thinking about.
There's another one too that's like similar to that one. I haven't seen it though, but it's like almost the same name. It's like Haunting in Connecticut 2 or something like that. It's not the sequel though. It's not, but it's like similar.
Yeah, there's so many of those movies. It's hard not to get them mixed up sometimes.
Yeah, and then some of them are like really low budget. They just like want to try
Yeah,
to copy the name so that you'll click on it or whatever.
yeah. I've seen a lot of movies like will do that in the name of like I don't know if you ever saw Snakes on a Plane with Samuel Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
They had a movie like I can't, maybe a year later or 6 months later. It came out on like straight to DVD. It was called Snakes on a Train,
Oh my
and it
god.
had like nobody I've ever seen before. But then at the
Yeah.
end of it, they took like a supernatural route, and it
Oh
showed
god.
this horrible like CGI snake that swallowed the whole train.
Oh my god.
It was terrible.
Wow.
It was like one of those like 99-cent rentals at the video store.
Wow. A part of me like really wants to see this now.
It was so bad when they did the supernatural twist with the giant voodoo CGI snake that swallowed the train.
Wow, that's amazing.
What's it
It's
about?
literally about snakes on a plane.
Yeah,
It's pretty
yeah,
hilarious, to be honest.
yeah. It's a cool Sam Jackson flick.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I remember they did a music video for that movie
Oh
too.
my
That was
god,
pretty
yeah, I
crazy.
love that song. I love
Yeah,
that song. Snakes take a trip on a plane. Yep, they did.
basically.
They
Yeah,
sure did.
a couple unfortunate occurrences.
Mm-hmm. Mm-mm-mm-mm.
So yeah, Snakes on a Train was insane. It was so bad.
Oh, it was so bad. Yeah. I don't think I've ever watched it again since.
I think I've only seen it the one time too.
I would watch it again just for kicks.
Yeah,
But it's like one of those like, you know, like drink with friends type
oh yeah.
movies. Hmm. Did you ever watch Meg?
Oh,
Oh no, you didn't, huh? I keep
no, but
forgetting.
I've seen the like trailers with that's the one with Jason Statham, right? With the megalodon shark.
Yeah. Was he in
Yeah,
it? I don't even remember anymore.
I think Jason Statham was in it,
Yeah, I think you're
but
right, actually.
they made a couple sequels to it, I'm sure.
One is out right now. One of the sequels is out.
But I know one of the like crazier movie series I've seen recently was well, not recently, it's been like a year now. But back when I had Netflix, they had like all the what can I think of the name of it? Sharknado movies.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So I binged like all those about a
I've only
year and a
seen
half ago.
I've only seen the first one.
They get
Crazier and
dumber and
crazier.
dumber. Yeah.
I can imagine.
They just get more and more ridiculous as they go.
One of my
I think by
friends.
the end, they even they had like knockoff lightsabers or something. I think.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
One of my friends used to work for Asylum, which is the production company that like puts those out, and she
Oh
had to
yeah,
work on a couple of them. Yeah, it was pretty funny. Sure
but
did
they
Vito.
were like just silly fun movies, though.
Oh yeah,
But it did get more and more ridiculous.
it's funny though, like how many famous people were in like the first few.
Yeah. But going back to wrestling a little bit, I think Chris Jericho even did a cameo in one.
That's funny. I know like Tara Reid was in one, right? Or two of them.
Yeah,
Or...
yeah. She it's crazy because her character got killed off in one of the movies, but then brought back in one of the sequels. So it's like I think she was the one that had like the fake like knockoff lightsaber in I think the last one that came out.
You know, speaking of the band boxes earlier, you know how we were talking about that, how I opened all of
Yeah.
them in 1 year, whatever. So, one of the props that I got, it wasn't really a prop. It was just like one of those like toy sharks that you get like at the dollar store that squeaks,
Oh yeah.
little rubber ones, signed by Tara Reid.
That's pretty cool though.
It was. I sold it though. Oh, it's so funny. I got a kick out of it though when I had it. It was hilarious.
Yeah, those were fun, man. Those band boxes to watch.
Yeah, they're always like I always had a lot of fun.
They had some cool stuff in them.
Mm-hmm.
I think you opened up one that had some a Jeepers Creepers prop in it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The little thing that he throws, the
Yeah,
bone.
that was a pretty cool movie, the first one.
Oh, I love that movie. I know there was like some controversy with the director later.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't hear about
apparently
that.
I think he was a pedophile or something like that.
Oh God, I didn't know
I didn't do research on it, but
Yeah.
that's what I've heard.
Hmm.
Yeah, that he was a pedo. And then
Dang.
a lot of people were like boycotting the movies and stuff.
Wow.
Which I get, but at the same time it's like, you know, it's just one guy. Like
That
there's
movie
so
got
many
like
people.
2 or 3 sequels, I think. But they probably
Yeah.
changed directors after that.
Yeah, they did. I think for the last one they did. I don't know about the others though. But I remember loving the first two.
Yeah.
I think I watched the third one and I didn't care about it, if I remember correctly.
I'm not sure if I saw it. I don't remember watching the third one, but I've definitely seen the first two a couple
The
times.
first two were great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second one I think is where that prop came from, where he threw it at the bus tire.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say that was the second movie.
Yeah, you're right. It's the bus. The bus. Ah, it's a good one. Mm-mm.
Thanks for dropping the link, Glitter.
Yeah, thank you, Crystal. Mm-mm.
Troy said Conan O'Brien was in one of the Sharknado movies. I could definitely see that.
Unreal.
I think I had Al Roker, I think, was in one of them too. He played a weatherman.
Oh my god. Who wasn't in these movies?
It was definitely a star fest of cameos.
Yeah, which makes it even funnier though.
Yeah. You see people you don't expect to see pop up in some movies.
Randomly.
Like, I don't know if you ever saw Euro Trip.
I did, yeah.
Matt Damon made a cameo in that movie.
Dude, he
was the dude that sang the song Scotty Doesn't Know.
I don't remember. It's been since that movie came out, I have not seen it. It's been that long. So when did it come out? It was like late 2000s.
God, it was definitely a 2000s movie.
It was like 2005, I think. Somewhere around there.
Probably.
But yeah, I haven't seen it since. I do remember liking it though.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was. I remember thinking like, they're just trying to bite off of like American Pie or whatever. But I
Yeah, because
actually
at the
liked it.
time those were all like super
Uh-huh.
popular movies. But yeah, Eurotrip was like, it's funny. Like the scene I remember the most is when they were in France or Paris, and there was this mom on the street that doing the robot, and they had like the Matrix robot fight scene. That, that was
Oh
hilarious.
my God. Yeah. Oh, Glitter says 2004. I was
2004.
close. I was close.
Now, I knew it was definitely early 2000s because that was like when American Pie and all that was like super popular.
Mm-hmm. I remember going into the theater with my cousins to watch American Pie. Like, we paid for a different movie and then went into American Pie. I was just like, ugh. As a kid, I was like, I don't want to
Yeah.
watch this. Ew.
I didn't see it. I rented it, I think, because it was
Yeah.
very few times I got to go to the theater back in the day. Most of the stuff I rented.
I did that a couple times. I did that with Scary Movie as well. You remember the funny
Oh
ones?
yeah, with the Wayans brothers.
Those were pretty good though.
Yeah,
The first like
I
two
just I
were
remember
amazing.
the dude, the butler
The
with
hat.
the lightsaber. Yeah,
Yes.
take my good hand.
Oh my God, dude. Those were
That
so
was so
funny.
crazy.
That one actually like the second one better. Like that's the one where he had the little hand. That
Oh
one
yeah,
made me laugh so much more than the first one did.
those were so good. I can't remember. I can't remember if they did. Were the
There was
Wayans
a
brothers still in the
couple.
third one?
Ooh, I don't remember. I don't
Can't
think
remember if
so.
they were still in the third one or not.
I don't think they
But
were.
yeah, after they left, it just wasn't as quite as good. I don't think. But God, they made like 5 or 6 or 7 of those. I think.
I know. I didn't watch all of them. I think I just watched
No,
3. Mm. Yeah, Scary
I
Movie was
saw
hilarious.
I saw one that had Dr. Phil did a guest star in it. I don't know which one that was, but it was him and Shaq, and they were in like the scene from the Saw movie where a dude had to cut his ankle off or his foot off.
Okay, so that
It
must have
was
been where
Dr.
I
Phil and
stopped
Shaq.
because I would
Yeah,
have definitely remembered that.
but
Now
that
I
was
feel like I have to go watch that too.
I think that was the last one I saw.
Okay.
I wish I could remember which one it was.
I don't know. A lot of times when like these series, they'll have like
Yeah,
so many movies, it's like hard to remember which one's which. Because it's like what I was telling you with like we have dyslexia. I have dyslexia with numbers. It's like, was it this number or that number? I don't know.
yeah. I always get that mixed up. Like the Saw movies have seven or maybe 8 movies now. But I
Isn't
haven't
there
seen like the
more?
last. I think they did. I haven't seen the last 3 Saw movies.
So I enjoy most of the Saw movies, but there's one that I just didn't really like. I mean, they gradually do go downhill,
Yeah,
but the one with Chester Bennington, I think is number 6. I think it's 6, 5 or 6. I just did not like, but
the
those are pretty good.
the last one I saw is they finally brought back the guy from the first movie that cut his foot off, and that was the last Saw movie I see.
Oh, I think that one was 4. No, I think it was 5. I don't know.
It
I
might
get
have
them
been
all
5.
confused too. The thing
Yeah,
about that one too, I get them even more confused than I normally would just because the timelines are all out of whack. So
yeah.
like they
I
go
feel
back
like
in
they
time.
killed off Jigsaw's character too soon because it was like the third movie, and they offed him.
Agree. And then they felt like, okay, we got to bring him back somehow. So then
Yeah.
make make up a
He had
timeline.
like years of videos
Yeah.
still set up
Little
somehow.
did you guys know that this was what he was doing while he was doing all this too. It's like, okay.
Yeah, maybe they just thought it was going to be a trilogy, and then they decided to make more.
Yeah, maybe I don't think they expected it to be as big of a hit as it was. It was such a good one, though. I love the first Saw. It was incredible.
Yeah, that was so good.
Oh, like Final Destination better than Saw.
Those were
Final
pretty good.
Destination's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the last one or two though. Uh-oh. Did we lose you for a second?
Oh yeah, my internet does that sometimes. It'll drop
Okay.
drop down to like 2 and 3 bars sometimes.
Oh, I hate that. That used to happen at my place in Vegas.
Yeah. But yeah, they made 5 or 6 Final Destinations too, I think.
Yeah, I haven't seen the last two. I need to go back and watch that.
Yeah, I think the first 3 is all I've seen of those, I'm pretty sure. I might have seen the 4th one. Again, that's another one that's like easy to get mixed up because you remember like some of the kills that happened in it, but you can't remember like
Mhm.
which movie it happened in.
Yeah.
I think the most famous one was probably the second one where they had the big freeway wreck with the log coming toward the police
Oh my
car.
God. There's so many memorable scenes in the Final Destination franchise.
Yeah, and I can't remember if it was the 3rd one or the 4th one where they did like the roller coaster wreck.
The third one. That was the
3rd
third
one.
one. Yeah. That one was intense too.
Yeah.
There's that one and then the sun tanning,
Oh
the
yeah.
tanning booth, the tanning booth.
Yeah. That
And
was
then
crazy.
yeah.
But yeah, still to this day though, when I was like see a log truck on the road, I'm like, nah.
I know that one. Obviously, like the beginning of the first one with the plane stuff
Oh yeah.
situation. That
That and
every time I go on a plane, there's never a time I go on a plane these like when in the past years since that I don't think about that scene.
I've never gotten the opportunity to fly on a plane before. I've always wanted to. I just haven't got the opportunity. But I would
You
probably
should
definitely
definitely
think
try it.
about Final Destination while I was doing it.
It is, yeah, it's impossible not to think of that.
Yeah. And I
It
think it
is.
was the first one too, where the girl was like arguing and she stepped out in the road and then just got flattened by the bus out of nowhere.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah,
Those were some wild movies.
for sure. For sure.
Good night, Jackson.
Later,
Have a good one, brother.
Jackson.
I didn't know the stream was going to go this long.
I know. It's been fun though.
Yeah,
Like,
it's been a
no.
blast.
Yeah, it's cool talking. I mean, I felt like it was overdue because like we've been
Yeah,
friends for so long on YouTube that it's like I can't believe we haven't been live together
I
like
know.
this.
Yeah, I think this is the first time we've been on like a full length stream together.
Yeah, so yeah, it's definitely merited.
Yeah.
But yeah, I should head out too though because I have work tomorrow early.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Oh
but
yeah. Yeah. I keep forgetting that you're 3 hours behind.
yeah, so
Or
technically
yeah.
it's later where you are at, right?
Yeah. It's almost midnight here, but I'm used to
Oh,
staying up late. It's like
yeah.
11:53.
I'm usually a night owl, but I do have
Yeah.
to wake up tomorrow. So, but yeah, it's been fun though,
Yeah. It's been a blast. Definitely got to do it again sometime.
for sure, for sure. And if you
You
ever,
got
what's that?
what was you gonna say?
I was like, and yeah, if you and Simon ever end up drinking, you better let me know.
Oh, definitely would. Definitely will. Do you got any videos or streams coming up that you want to promote right quick?
So actually I don't think I'll be going on live this weekend, unfortunately, because my mom's gonna come visit. So I'm gonna show her around. But I would say still keep an eye out. Maybe I'll try to potentially go live maybe Thursday. evening just to compensate. And maybe I'll do a on the reel where we'll talk about all the latest movies. I do a lot of different streams, guys. You know, haven't been covering comics as much lately because my collection's not even with me right now, but that's to come in a little bit. It's just going to take a while. But right now I have been covering a lot of film stuff. So I have a show called On the Reel. I just started a new show called Hunger for Horror. So that was really fun the other day. So if you guys can join me on any one of those, or UFC. I also cover UFC. I do watch-alongs every now and then. So you guys should definitely subscribe. Definitely hit the notification because I have 0 schedules. So that'll let you know when I'm live. And that's about it. Thanks for having me, Rus.
Oh, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. It's been awesome hanging out and talking comics and horror and all kind of stuff.
I know, huh? We didn't keep it to comics, but that's kind of how we do. Like, I've known you for so long now. Like, we have that thing about us where we don't just like one thing, we like several things. So it was
definitely
cool
like just a full spectrum of collecting. Yeah, it's the same. Like when I do the Simply Super show with Simon, we never stay on topic. Like never.
It happens. It's all good. Yeah.
Again, JoJo's Instagram, JoJo's YouTube, Flix and Comix is the first link in the description. If anybody like new viewers happen to see that don't know this awesome person, click that link and go check her channel out. And speaking of Simply Super, tomorrow night, me and Simon are doing, I think it's episode 64 of Simply Super.
Nice. I love that show. I like what you guys have done with that.
It's fun. And next Saturday, I'm doing a Saturday Let's Talk Comics with Magic Lasso at 8 Eastern. So tune in for that. And that's pretty much it that's on my channel. And I do have an unboxing coming up. I just bought another comic that goes in this Dark Phoenix line. So when I get that, I'll definitely do that unboxing. But I feel like it's mostly going to be live streams on my channel and very few actual videos.
Yeah, that's how it is these days, though, you know?
Yeah. It's just so much, I don't know, it's just so much easier, I guess, to just come on and just do a hangout and just shoot the breeze.
Yeah. It takes a lot more effort, and you know, it's not a good or a bad thing. It's just the truth. It just takes a lot to kind of crank out a video, edit, then wait for it to export the processing, upload it, dress it. And it's like, with this, you just, boom, you go, you know?
Yeah. The biggest thing for me is coming up with like new ideas for videos and trying to like plan. Like I've done a couple like stuff here and there that's been like different, like there's videos where I just do narration over some gameplay or talk about retro games or do like what if versus fight scenario stuff. But for the most part, it's just like going to be like unboxings or live streams.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. Again, I appreciate you coming on. It was an awesome time.
Heck yeah.
And I'll catch all you guys later. Keep it 9,000.